Hello, hello, what is up, poker people? I have a very special surprise for you tonight. We have the one, the only Alexander Fitzgerald. The Assassinato is in the house. I am, of course, Justin Caritis. I am not the co-host tonight, but Scott will be here in like 2 minutes. The one and only, the Hop Grenade. And we have a very special stream this evening. It is the final table of our first streamed event for the Spring Classic, the 50K guaranteed Insanity Stack Knockout Tournament. $200 bounties, 50,000 chips. We basically just gave them the world and let them play poker all day. So we are down to the final 9, and we're excited to get down to the final table and see who wins it all. So with $200 bounties, it took up about 20,000 worth of the prize pool. So it's still $7,000 up top for these guys to play for. And tell me, are you tournament guy or are you cash guy? Are you more excited about the tournament than the cash game?
I'm more excited about the tournaments because tournaments give you a great excuse to get in there and fight just because of the blinds going up. So it's very exciting poker. It's short-handed poker. We have a lot of crushers at this final table, which I'm really excited about.
Unbelievable. Your first stream on Stones Live, and you seriously got the dream lineup completely unplanned. We have the infamous Mike Postel. Everyone that watches our stream knows who is Mike Postel. That guy standing right there. And somehow he got seat 1, which is his seat. And who's that handsome guy in the suit standing next to him? I don't even know who that guy is. And Justo in seat 2, another local crusher, the one and only Sean Drake's at the table. Said Dr. Art, Barry's here, a couple new guys to the stream. So I think it's just going to be just a smash up tonight. And I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be action. I can't wait to get into it.
Super excited. I'm also excited for you to meet Scott. He's going to be here any second. So we had you guys all coming in a little later. The final table hit sooner than we thought. I thought 5 million chips in play. It's going to be super late, but these guys have just been duking it out like they're in the fighting pits in Rome or something. So pretty great. That's me, by the way, giving the speech, just telling them where to put their cards on the stream. For those of you that aren't familiar with Stones Live, we don't do the little cameras and the whole cam like the old school. It's RFID, and we're just letting them know, hey, set your cards there. They have not chosen to take the bounties off the table, so the $200 bounties are still in play. And with that being said, I have not let him get one word in, so you're going to have to let him talk a little too. Here's Scott Moskowitz and Alexander Fitzgerald. You guys are meeting for the first time on camera.
Fun. What's up, dude?
Hey, man.
Nice to see you, man. I mean, I may be meeting in person, but I'm not unfamiliar with you and your books and your poker wisdom and such.
I'm honored. Happy to be here with you as
well. So now JFK just gave you the breakdown.
Yes, sir.
Now can you relay it to me, please?
We got well, we have a $500 buy-in, 50K starting stack,
right?
50K in guarantees.
Okay.
They had $200 bounties, so about 29K of that was in the prize pool.
Okay.
Another 20K in the bounties, and they're fighting for about 7K up top. So I take it first place means a lot more to them than the bounties at this time.
Unless they have run ridiculously hot.
Yeah, exactly. And then and it looks like a really solid lineup. We have Mike Postel.
Mike Postel.
Postel.
You know, because it rhymes with apostle, and he runs like Jesus. So that's you will. Oh, the stream deck, please. He's an infamous player on our streams.
Really?
Mike, yeah, mostly cash. Thank you very much. There he is.
He's got that look.
He does indeed. He's got, if looks could kill. He normally plays cash on this stream. But you'll see him on tournaments as well. But we just run more cash games on this show than we do tournaments. Yes. But in cash and in poker in general, he's a crusher. He's very clever in how he maneuvers, and you'll start to learn why his name rhymes with apostle.
Yeah. Just gets it like that, huh?
Yes, he does. So what's your experience in knockout tournaments? Do you like them?
I do like knockout tournaments because people will call all-ins with absurd things that you wouldn't expect them to.
The bounty incentivizes you.
And nobody really understands what the ICM means. You had a couple chips in the middle that you can't see as far as ICM implications, but it doesn't change things as much as people want to justify. But I love anything that gets people gambling. And how are we gambling so far at this? Just checking down?
Looks like T-Money is in the lead here. Ace high, wheel draw. Sock's got that good-looking flush draw. It went check on the... I'm surprised he Sock check behind on the flop there.
Yes.
Really? You know, is the initial raiser, too, is that right? If the graphics are right, he raises pre, gets called, flops a nice-looking 2 hearts for his queen jack, and then he checks behind? Odd.
That can be justifiable versus a very aggressive opponent who's just the type of thing, oh, he would fire with a flush draw, and then perhaps you could get him to do something very strange later. But I don't know about this particular situation. Obviously, normally you would go ahead and fire.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if it would have worked. You know, maybe T-Money calls flop if Sock continuation bets. But as it stands, T-Money has now, he's never not had the best hand. He's had the best hand on every street. And now he rivers the wheel. He's never going anywhere. Sock just called behind on a turn, and then on river, he's left with just queen high. He's going to fold. Oddly played by Sock. He just took a really passive approach post-flop. I'm not familiar with him, so I'm not sure if... if he was getting tricky there, if he makes a habit of checking behind when he flops flush draws after opening pre, but it didn't work out for him that time. So I mean, per your assertion of incentive to gamble and knockout tournaments, poker players never need extra incentive to get it in. I call. I definitely call.
Especially in the United States, everybody loves to gamble here, which is why I love playing cards here. But if you give them anything extra, just a couple $100 on a knockout, people do get a little strange. And especially if there is somebody all in. Do we have a very short stack here at this final table? Did I just see that right?
We'll get the chip counts after this hand. I missed them in between. Did you see that?
Okay,
we'll see.
I looked very quickly. I thought we saw a very short stack. That can affect things.
Well, we're on a first date here. We're trying to get to know each other. And we're missing the graphics. You know, it's like when I go on a first date, I don't make a habit of watching ESPN. I'm focused on the person in front of me. Right. So we got the monitor here too. We got a lot going on. Hi, all you guys, Twitch and YouTube. Nice to see all y'all. I know there's some comments that I want to get to. That is Mike. Yeah, man, it's so weird to see Mike without a hat there in the white shirt here. Yeah. Mike always wears a baseball cap.
Really?
But not tonight. Not really
Dressed
sure why.
well for the final table. He's taking it seriously. Maybe he won't be as crazy as you normally see him.
No, that's impossible.
No way. Not gonna happen. Raise and take it.
Where are we at here, chip wise? 78K. Yeah, so little tiny sacks. That's Sock. That's that guy.
Yeah.
So you think his stack size factored into how he played that flush draw?
It could. Well, sometimes you'll see people do wild isolation plays when there is a very short stack and they just want to pick up that couple $100 and then people pick up on that and they go off. So maybe not in that specific hand, but it could play into this a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's a universe in which cash or tournament, if I open pre with queen jack of hearts, I'm heads up and I flop 3-7-3 with 2 hearts and it checks to me, I'm never not betting. Are you? Well, how often are you checking behind there?
Almost never, unless I have. There are certain psychopaths who have a very regimented way of thinking about poker, and if you were to check there, they will just go no flush draw, and then perhaps.
Oh, he can never have a flush draw.
Exactly, and then you can take advantage of them. Now that tends to be a very stringent pro that does that. That is a very odd circumstance that comes up. 98% of the time you're betting there almost for value.
Yeah, sure. 2 overs and a flush draw? What are you going to call me with?
The
Go for
equity
it.
share that you have there is, we have a 3-bet, 6-5 hearts.
Whoa.
I like this guy.
Speaking of hearts.
I like this guy.
He's got heart. Yeah.
He's playing.
He's
playing for
He wants to see a
and
flop.
We just get a call.
Yeah, the flat from Ace Queen. Is that a flop? Ace Queen's going to... I don't know if T-Money's continuation bet is going to work here. He can't check, of course.
That is... Now, when someone flats your 3-bet and there are 2 cards above a 9, they have typically hit that board. That might be a board to just let go at that point.
Yeah, I think this is probably his one shot, right? Like, it checks to him. He's on the button. He's like, I'm going to bet now. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I can't check.
I like the bet size. I think you can check because at some point this gentleman is a little bit more aggressive is what I understand. So most of the time you will not have to table the hand. And if you
it just works. One bet works.
With a backdoor flush draw and a gut
shot to the nuts, ace high backdoor spades.
Did he bet 1/3 pot on that? Was that it?
It looks like it was 2. Yeah, about 1/3. A little over 1/3.
He's got a call there. He's going to get 3-bet all day.
So let me flip this. Either step on the gas pre and 4-bet, come back over the top, or if you're not prepared to do that, just fold to the 3-bet, which is probably catastrophic.
No,
with
that's,
ace-queen
that's
suited.
an extreme adjustment that isn't unwarranted if you're not willing to play out of position. But I think even a small 4-bet there, it was hard to see the stacks. Obviously, like you said, we're on a first day and there's 1,000 things to manage right now. Between
Welcome to Stone's Live, dude.
But a small 4-bet there, I don't even mind because many 3-betters will call you with their entire range and they'll tell you what they have, oftentimes with timing tells, and you can work off of that. But I think if he is going to flat there, he has to call on that flop because a lot of people are going to check back. Now, I did play with Dr. Art before in a Venetian 5K, and I did play in the WCP main event, and I was very impressed by his patience. It's very hard to teach a guy to be patient. So the good thing about patient players is they get a lot of credit for their bluff. So I'm really interested to see if he'll work that in a little today. Although I must say it was a year or so ago, the last time I played with him. Perhaps things have changed.
Now, patience will get you credit for bluffs because?
Just because people tend to generalize things much more in poker than they should, right? They see a guy fold on the button once, they think tight player, because right? And then when that person 3-bets later, you go, tight players 3-bet.
Yeah.
Maybe my 4s aren't so hot.
It makes total. I mean, yeah, we're always looking for there's a pattern. Where's a pattern?
Right.
Where's a pattern?
That's
so
humans.
we are if that is human. So then we do sweeping generalizations in search of patterns, which is useful, but also can get you in
To
trouble.
a degree, right? You need to have more nuanced. Now, it's going to be really interesting. I like his check here, especially with the 6 of diamonds. Obviously, Mike is just all over this board.
Yeah, instead of just auto open, and because that is very much in Mike's calling range, and so Art is. But I mean, we're checking to fold. Is he going to call one street
he's gotta
here?
Fold.
Just
But this
check
gives
fold.
his C-bets credibility, continuation bets credibility for the rest of his final table. I actually think that's I think both players played that pod just fine.
Totally. Yeah, that was obviously a huge flop for Mike, and when it's checked to him, he just is like, I bet now, I just win, or maybe he calls. I don't mind that either. Makes total sense. So I want to go back to your comment about you're like, well, yeah, players in the U.S., man, then they're looking to get. So you really you notice a big difference between the U.S. and everywhere else?
Yes, sir. I actually spent 10 years outside of the United States from the age of 19 until about 29. A lot of that I was in Europe. I was in Costa Rica, but I played on the European Poker Tour for a long time. I did go back. I was lucky enough to make a WPT final table in Prague. And a lot of those guys, if you're making a couple grand a year in Belarus, you own half the town, right? So they are pretty damn motivated to figure out the game, and they are working hard, and they're not going to be gambling with you. They're in there to win, right?
Oh,
The great thing about the United States is because I think this country is doing fairly well right now.
Rich. Yeah.
Everybody has a little bit more money to
Interesting.
gamble with,
Yeah, that's
thankfully, right? That's not to say in Europe you can't find soft spots. You just have to look for them a little bit more, perhaps, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to find them in Eastern Europe. Is the other thing.
Right, of course. Yeah, so I never thought about it that way. Yeah, just it's so obvious as you say it. But yeah, just more widespread prosperity. Everyone's like, yeah, call. I don't know.
Let's go for it.
I'm not worried about, I'll find $100 if I need to.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right.
Interesting.
And there were times in the United States that wasn't true, just because right after the recession, you would see some of the games being different, but not right now in 2019.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the human norm up until the last 5 freaking seconds in the United States, that's been the case.
Right.
Everyone's had to pinch pennies, but now we're rich. Mike is rich on this flop.
Apparently.
Everyone's in each, a bunch of bad aces here.
He does run good if everybody has the same damn hand, and he's still got it.
Oh, Alex, you just wait until you see what the Mike Run Good is all about. This, my friend, is nothing.
Let's see.
There have been some absolutely ridiculous pots over the past. Mike has been a crusher for a very long time, but in particular, in the past year or so, Mike has been making the right moves all the time, which is he's an incredibly skilled player, but his run good, my God, man.
He just walks on water, huh?
Yeah, there's a reason we call him Jesus Postle. The man turns water into wine on the reg. That's what. So yeah, we are still looking at Sock as the little tiny short stack here. He has, 3 bigs?
Mm-hmm.
So he is on life support. Fearless Fish at the top. That sounds about right for a guy named Fearless Fish. Also, I saw a couple follows on Twitch there. I missed the first one, but JB Weinberg Thanks for the follow, brother. Welcome to the Stones fam. Sorry I'm ignoring the chat, guys. I've just been trying to get situated in here and hang with Alex, who I have about 10 million questions for, because I don't know how much of an introduction JFK did for you at the top of the show.
He was very complimentary, but not a huge one, right?
Oh, cool. Well, I don't want to compliment you. I just want to report the news, which is that you have, I believe, over 3.5 million in live earnings. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I know you've written 2 books?
Yes, sir. Two books, and I contributed to 1, 2, 3 others. Yes, sir.
So I'm so curious how the book writing process goes, because as somebody who can orate, but it finds it very tedious to sit down and type, did you have somebody sort of type as you spoke, or did you just type it up yourself?
You know what I do? I chicken peck. I drink as much coffee as humanly possible. I turn off the lights. I turn up death metal. And you know what's the biggest...
Death metal,
you
wow.
You know what's the problem with...
Taylor loves that.
Yeah, you my boy, Taylor. But you know what's the biggest problem when people are writing is they second guess themselves and they keep editing. And they keep going back and forth, and you go from that left brain, right brain, back and forth, because you're writing, you're editing, you're writing. You got to block all of that out. You got to turn up the noise, and you just got to get it out. And then when you're done, it's a piece of S, but you just keep
But you get a good marketing team.
Yeah. Oh, poor D&B Publishing. When they get my first draft, they're like, Alex, are you serious?
What is this?
Yeah. Please stop. Please stop. Did you read this before you sent it in? No, that's your job.
It's funny, like, you know, I'm a oil painter, not by trade or anything, just as a hobby. But it's that same thing where it's like, people ask me sometimes, like, how do you know when a painting is done? It's not really an answer.
Flow state.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the thing with writing, though. It's never done. Every time I look at my books, I just go, I could have done that better. Could have done that better.
Well, exactly. That's the thing.
Yes.
Like, you know, I gave my friends a wedding present. I did a painting for them. I did it 6 years ago. It's on their wall, and I look at it. I'm like, give me that back. I could do it so much better.
Sorry, gang. I hope you enjoyed this for 19 months.
Exactly. You know, it was a temporary gift. Don't worry. In about 3 more years, I'll have a new one to present to you, and then I'll hate that a year from then.
And I'll take it back 9 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll fix that one as well.
Exactly. So anyway, just you're a very accomplished card player, and I know at least some of the people within the sound of our voices are familiar with you, of course. How'd you get your start?
To be honest, I was just doing terrible jobs, and I wanted out of it. Family didn't have a ton of money. I wouldn't say it was that bad of a situation, but just dad was in another country. Mom was hurt up, and I was moving Persian carpets. I was working at an Arby's. I was working security. I was a commercial fisherman. And at some point, I just went, I have to do something other than this.
Now,
right?
are the rumors true that, like, oh, you go out for 5 months, it's the worst 5 months ever on the crab boat, but you come back and you've made 40 grand?
I did not do crab fishing.
That's
what my father does, and it is that dangerous, and it is.
But like lucrative but hard as hell.
It can be lucrative. It's becoming tougher for them. They're going through a lot in that industry. But I did sockeye salmon fishing. I was the worst fisherman anyone has ever seen. It was the 6 worst weeks of my life.
Is Alex below deck hitting the vape pen again? Come on, dude.
Right. And then, you work 18, 20 hours. Not all of it is strenuous. Sometimes the net's going out and you're just kind of watching it, making sure it doesn't go into anything. Sometimes you helplessly watch a seal bite your fish, and then you don't get any money. Yeah, you start becoming way less of an animal rights activist very quickly as you do that job. And I guess I heard back in the old days they used to throw seal grenades and stuff out there.
My God. Yeah, that sounds like the old days.
Yeah,
just blast the seals out of the water.
And Chubb has ace queen here, going for color for.
Just shipping the button.
Yeah, there you go. Good luck, sir.
GL all in. I don't even know if Art. It does wake up with an ace here in the big, but it's a bad ace. And Dr. Art, is this the type of hand he's going to consider a call with? Ace highs ahead here a lot.
When I played with him, I was very impressed with how much thought he put into his decision. So he's going to take his time. My guess would be it's a full, but he also knows now. Chubb is a tournament regular, so he does have to think about this with how many big blinds was this?
It's 126K to win 40K. I think blinds are at 12K right now, so we're about 10 bigs.
Now, you'll notice, a lot of ostentatious behavior from Chubb. And a lot of guys, when they're feeling secure, don't do that. So perhaps, when somebody's just dying for a call, sometimes you won't see that. It's just kind of.
He's going to call. He's going to see, yeah, you can see he's a little annoyed that his opponent happens to have a better ace.
Yeah.
You know.
He worked for that call. That was, he talked with him.
He earned it.
He, give credit where credit is due.
Dr. Art's going to try to find a Chubb grenade here and blow his ace-queen out the water. Needs a 4-ball.
You have a better chance if you call for it in a foreign language. This is a rule.
He's got 2 more shots. He's got some backdoor straight options. That is a brick-ski. A 4 will do it. Just a 4 now.
Look at the nervousness of Chubb.
Chubb ace-high holding here. The old no-pair double-up. And Chubb lives to see another day. Dr. Art now below 100K. Less than 10 minutes. All right, there's, I'm sure, some comments here. What up, Duck Papa? Oh, what was the actual... Did we find out what the overlay was in this event?
Overlay was... Oh, great question. $3,200.
Okay.
Sir.
It was really big there in the early afternoon. We must have had some late reg, going on.
Yeah. Great value, great room.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. So this is your first time at
Yes,
Stones,
sir.
dude. Where are you
time.
based?
I live in New York City, Queens.
I've never heard of it, but I'm sure it's nice there. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, welcome. And it's not first time in California, is it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I've been here.
Okay, right on.
You kind of have to go to LA if you play cards,
Of
right?
course, yeah. I mean, Bicycle, Commerce, these are legendary spots. Even Hollywood Park.
Lovely Commerce, California.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
sir.
Yeah, you spend a few short hours on the freeway going 9 miles. You finally get to Commerce, and
There
then,
you are.
there you are. Yeah. So yeah, welcome, man. It's a great card room, isn't it?
Oh, it's
really
beautiful.
amazing. As much description as you can do, you don't really. It doesn't really paint the full picture until you get here and you're like, oh my god, this place is so nice.
It is really nice. It's just well crafted, well designed. Everybody's been really kind here too, which is not normal in many card rooms.
No, that's so true.
Sometimes it's a whoa, action, lots of hands.
Big time. One of the first things that really struck me about Stones and why I've kind of came and never left was that vibe, man. I've been playing cards for a long time, and you don't really almost ever find it. I say almost ever. I can't really think of another place. I'm sure it exists, but the only place I've yet to experience it is Stones, man. Everyone's kind of familial around here.
Everybody's really
it's like a big
kind
home
here.
game, yeah.
Yeah. I came here yesterday just to get the lay of the land and to talk with people, and was very impressed by how kind everybody was. That isn't always the case. Sometimes you feel like, hey, why are you on my turf? Everything is going nuts here.
Yeah, Chubb shipping here. Sock was on an extreme short stack. He's got a monster.
Fearless Fish.
Fearless Fish also with a huge hand, but Sock in a great position. Actually, Pete. Pete is very live here. You're looking for a low board.
Good luck, gentlemen. Now, it said seed 8 is not actually all in. Is this the pot? No. I had a note, but no.
NMill18, saw that follow on Twitch. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it very much, man. Welcome to the Stones fam. In the beginning here, the opening broadcast for our Spring Classic here at Stones, the Spring Classic Tournament Series. We are working our way towards the winner here in this Insanity Stack knockout event, and everyone's going to try to knock each other out here.
It's a brawl.
It's just a open street fight. Someone's going to bust a bottle on the rail and threaten with the shards. So is Fearless...
Has anyone ever actually done that?
Bust the ball on the bar?
I tried to do it one night, cut my hand, and I went, you know what? I think this probably happens a lot. And then I couldn't continue.
You're not just left holding the clean bottleneck with the perfect
no,
weapon.
it didn't work. It broke everywhere, and I went, dang.
Well, also, like, okay, let's say it went perfectly, and you're left with a weapon, and you now stab a guy, and now you're in court.
Now you're in jail.
Now it's trouble in River City. And, wow, Pete, I knew Pete's hand was looking good here. Oh, hello, Chris Moneymaker.
Yes, sir.
It has to be off stream, though.
Uh-oh.
Come on, this way.
Moneymaker needs Alex's
right.
attention. I'm going to see if the...
By the way, I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris. Pleasure to meet you, son.
Nice to meet you, brother.
all right. And the 5... I knew the 9-5 was good. 9-5 makes the 3 5s because all his opponents are holding each other's cards. Although, man, is that Fearless Fish's flush. Ace high flush is going to get it done. Wow. Ace Jack, Ace King, 9-5, all go down in flames. Hello, Taylor.
What's up?
What's up, man?
I came in. I popped in to say that it says that Pete got eliminated on this hand. He actually didn't.
Okay. So Pete's still in.
Yeah, Pete's still
Fearless
in.
Fish finds himself the pot. Sucks out. Chubb's out. So we got a double knockout there.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
so Pete has about 50K in front of him.
Okay.
It changes in 1 second.
And this is our final table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure there's not some other table with.
This is a
people on it or
wild
something.
final table, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, I like Mike to scoop. I mean, not to be a homer or nothing. What up, Tommy Lull? Nice
Whoa.
to see you, man. Ghost of M, how are
People
you
are
guys?
gone.
How are you, Twitch chat?
Look Chris gave me when I was like VIPs only. It's like,
Now, I don't want to sound dumb. Now, that introduction where you guys introduced yourselves to each other was nonsense, right?
I have no idea. How could it be nonsense?
Well, in other words, like, it's not as if you're meeting that guy and not knowing who he is, right?
Oh yeah, it's one of those you're playing pleasantries, right?
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure here. All
Yeah,
right, because
no,
he was
no,
like, oh,
I'm well
yeah,
aware.
Chris? Okay.
I grew
Nice
up
to meet you,
watching him.
Chris. Okay. I knew it might have been a little silly. I'm pretty sure it's not possible. Well,
No, I was talking with a lady who is now very big in the poker world. Maybe she doesn't want me saying this, but I was bringing up multiple main event winners, and she didn't know who they were.
Really?
So it is possible, right? So
wow, Jen Harmon, get your guests together, woman. You should know all these people. I thought you hang out with them.
Mike P with the raise, 37,000. Fearless Fish facing an under the gun raise with Ace Jack offsuit. Now
Interesting spot.
is he one thing I loved about Chris Moneymaker's run is he was still in he calls there. I think you give away much more with the deliberation than you want to sometimes, and that looked like genuine deliberation.
Yeah, it did. So, like, in other words, he's never going to do that. I was going to say with two queens. He's just going to, like,
yes,
snap
sir.
raise.
Yes, sir. So when you're ranging in your mind, it sounds like Mike has been around the block. You're thinking,
yeah.
Queens, Kings, Aces, slow play. I don't know. That looked pretty genuine. Pete all in with two ladies.
Yeah, he actually does have the two queens and has the world's easiest ship with just 50K left after getting himself into some trouble in that last spot. Found himself super short stacked, but on the very next deal, he wakes up with queens and has a great shot to get back in it here. I think either Mike or Fearless is going to end up calling. Let's see. Mike raised to 30. Oh, see, yeah, Mike has to call. There's only 13 more.
Yes.
Interesting call too by Pete ships from the small blind and T Money in the big blind.
T Money came to gamble.
Yeah, he sure. Hey, he lives in the United States, and
It's time
hear
to
the
play.
walls spit money at you, and let's play,
I mean, he's
man.
making money with 6 eyes. He's got money to burn.
He does.
Let's go.
Wow, look at this. Mike would be drawing to the case queen, except he isn't because it wouldn't be any good. So Mike is 0% despite flopping a Broadway draw. Fearless Fish way out in front here. Poor Pete, drawn to one honey. He probably. Against 4 opponents, you're never comfortable because how can nobody have an ace? But, sometimes queens are good on a flop like this.
Yeah,
Not this time.
It's better to see 2 aces versus 1 ace, combinatoric
Right.
wise.
Yeah, exactly.
to make this as simple as possible.
That's what I'm saying.
But once you've seen this action, you go, nah. It's, you're fishing for that other queen.
Indeed. Now, Mike, he did decide to come along here. It looks like there was a bet on the flop. Mike did decide to call.
How big was that bet? Excuse me,
Didn't
guys.
quite miss the graphic. We're going to find out. Mike is folding the river. Fearless Fish is going to show Pete the bad news. He is
when
out.
a guy sheepishly turns up his hand, just start walking away.
Yeah, totally.
When he sheepishly peeled it, you were like, nope.
I think when Pete sees Fearless Fish bet river, he knows.
That's it.
He knows
Game's
he's dead.
over.
That's it. And we
Good
say
game, Pete.
we say that because we're checking it down basically in a multi-way pot with an opponent all in. You end up checking it down often with the other opponents if you don't have anything because we're trying to knock a guy out. If a guy is betting, it generally means he just has it. What up, Stratos? Yeah, pretty unlucky for queens there, but it's a great spot on a short stack to get your money in with queens. Didn't work out for him that time. What can you do?
Let's say hi to some people. Hey, Teddy. Hey, Jaman. Hey, Matt Haman. Hey, Cliff's Notes. Awesome name.
What up, guys?
Rene Portugal, the homie. What's up, man? What's good? Can't wait to meet you as well, sir.
Yeah, so you're in town for how long through this spring classic?
3 days.
Cool. Well, what's
Yeah.
your plan games wise?
Games, I don't know how much I'm going to be playing. I'm working with my business quite a bit right now, so pokerheadrush.com if anybody's interested. But I was hoping to just come play some 1-3 and goof off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm doing a poker trip, I'm really focused on the poker. I'm taking notes. It's long sessions. I'm really thinking about that, and I didn't feel as if I could give myself 100% to announcing if I was just really playing big games or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a different mindset for sure. Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Yeah,
What
looks like I think it went check, 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 check all the way down to the
whole way.
river. Ace high is good. Interesting. Mike didn't, often you'll see Mike take stabs almost all the time. That time he just felt like it wasn't for whatever reason, he felt like that wasn't a time to go for it. So he just checked it down the river. Now, obviously, tournament is very different than cash, and tournament Mike is a different animal. Cash game Mike loves playing deep and loves going to the streets.
I like those guys.
Yeah, dude,
I like those
and
guys.
it's fun to call on shows like this, that's for sure. That's sort of poker in its purest form.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of like push fold pre-tournament thing can be a little less interesting as far as watching
Yes, sir.
maneuvering on multiple
Yes,
streets
sir.
goes.
And I just love Team Money. Team Money
He's here to
is
play.
not here for second, third, fourth, or fifth. He is here for first, and he does not care what happens.
Go for the win. Why not?
Now what? Did Fearless Fish 3-bet there? What just happened? He 3-bet. Hey, but somebody else came to play.
He's now getting 4-1. It's going to be about 50 and change to call to win 200. So he might want to peel here in position with a suited 8. I mean, a suited double down, as Mike is fond of calling them. And of course, his hand is pretty garbagey, but
Well, let's say you think somebody has just got fed up with your ass and is
I'm taking
three-betting
a
you.
stand.
Yeah, I'm taking, well said. And this person is taking a stand. Now, this person has 20, 25% of the hands, and this person is c-betting with all of them on the flop because otherwise, why would they do it? Well, then you could call with that hand, not because of the hand, but because you are planning to raise on the flop to do something. I actually don't mind Fearless Fish's small 3-bet there because you notice there was a lot of deliberation, for lack of a better word, and if he isn't in the habit of acting with that, or if it's not the same baseline behavior every time, perhaps he could get something from that as he's hiding behind his shades. And no one's going to fold your 3-bet in this day and age anyway. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a huge 3-bet there. So I liked how he played that. I liked how he was trying to get a little bit more money out of him, because if he's opening 8-2, he's opening the weaker aces, and likely on an ace-high board, you're going to get paid if you work that.
Yeah, so in other words, he's maybe making a smaller 3-bet there with the ace-10 suited because he doesn't mind a call. He's a value race.
Right, and he's going to structure his bets differently than perhaps he would with an ace-queen out of position or an ace-king. Obviously, that's a very exploitative way to play, but if he's gambling on the person not noticing that, or perhaps this situation hasn't come up before in the tournament and isn't likely to come up again, perhaps he can get away with it. All in by Dr. Art.
Yeah, he in the hijack, he just is he's super, super short, and he decides to try and steal the
How
blinds.
many big blinds is that?
87K. I think our blind's still at 12K.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
so we're
believe
still at, was that six blinds or so?
10.
And now he's very fortunate here to be flipping a coin. Mike, Mike.
You love it when it gets turned over there.
Wow, no kidding, right? Mike on the button wakes up with 7s and calls, and it's going to be, Mike is a 60-40 favorite here. Maybe we do true outs on stones. So perhaps a 10 or an 8 or 2 are dead. Otherwise, it would be a little closer to 50-50. But as it stands, Dr. Art is in pretty good shape. He just needs to find a pair. He doesn't do it. Mike's 7s are good on that board. He does have a straight draw he adds to his collection of possibilities. Whoa.
Oh, artful flip.
And he finds it. There you go. Boom. Check mark on the turn. Mike can't believe it.
He walked up to the dealer and said, "Jack, please."
Jack.
That's what, you see?
And the dealer tried to ninja star it into his neck.
He's like, "Is this what you want?
Here
Here you go."
And on the river's irrelevant. Dr. Art had it locked up on 4th Street, and Mike Sevens go down in flames. And Mike is not used to. He has told me that he doesn't tend to run particularly good in tournaments, but this is, we're in the Postle zone here.
Who does run good in tournaments? I'm
winner.
serious. Have you ever heard somebody say that?
I run great.
No, you'll hear a guy win a bracelet and 5 months later be like, "I'm running terrible, man." It's like, yes, that's how tournaments go. You run bad, then you win one. Everybody says you're a genius for a couple years,
Yeah.
and then you run bad, and you keep running bad.
Yeah. That's right. Speaking of Chris Moneymaker, I'm pretty sure that was his life
that what
story.
he said?
Yeah, I mean that was the popular. That was the he just with the one-trick pony, and then he was terrible after that. Although that's not really true, as I've continued to point out. Right after the 2003 main event, I believe it was the same year in 2003. He got
WPT
second
final
place.
table. Bay
Second
101.
place
Bay
in
101.
the Shooting Stars main event.
I was in high school. I remember watching that.
There you go.
Yeah,
And he would have won that too had his jacks held against Phil Gordon's A6.
A7 bizarre call.
And I believe it was actually, he shipped, Phil shipped it with A6, and Chris woke up with jacks and was like, and decided eventually called it off,
Right.
and just didn't hold. Otherwise, he would have won that too.
And then it would have been back to back. By the way, if you're going to win one turn, I think if you win one main event, nobody ever gets to say anything to you for the rest of your life. It's just, look, man, when you win the main event, we'll have this discussion.
I think that's totally fair. Although there were a lot of Johnny-come-latelys that had a lot to say about Chris's game in the mid 2000s.
I mean, everybody's got something to say. They don't have main event bracelets.
That
Just
is-
remember that at
yeah,
the end of the day.
Right, totally. Exactly. Scoreboard. 6 is still good here after this flop. Interesting.
Calls with ace-9.
SR's going with check call, thinking ace high's the best hand here, or he has an elaborate plan to steal this later. Fearless Fish picks up a.
Well, that's not a bad play. If you check call and then it gets checked back on the turn, you could represent having a jack per se, because
And
that's
he's going
probably
to.
how you would play.
That's what he's doing.
Problem is, Fearless Fish is cagily
Snap call.
called right
Snap
there.
call. Yeah, well played by Fearless Fish. He made the maximum. His opponent had nothing.
That is a very safe board to check back 6s on.
No, to call.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, SR did exactly
no,
what you said.
Check back on the turn and then
on the
called
turn.
on the river.
Sure.
Yeah.
Call on like every river almost.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Just
Maybe
with the
except
one
an
over.
ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Hello, SetGirl69. That's my fiance Danica in the Twitch chat there. Nice to see you. Oh, Tommy Lull knocked Chris Moneymaker out of this tourney. Chris is a fish. That guy's a one-trick pony. Tommy, you obviously
trick.
own him.
I want that
I know,
trick.
totally.
Give me that trick.
if ever there was a guy who picked the good one trick, that was the right one to pick.
If I could have that trick, you could call me a one-trick pony my whole life. On God. Congratulations on your engagement, by the way.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, Danica's a good chick. Now, Mike here was hanging out with Danica and I in Reno a couple weeks ago for the Run It Up series.
Good times.
Good times indeed. Now, we were playing video poker the first night we got there, as we are one. It's the U.S., man. Money grows on trees.
Yeah.
And Mike gave us some advice. He was like, now he was watching it. It's like 3 in the morning. We're DJing. He's like, yeah, you're holding the wrong thing. You do this. You hold the pair. And I'm like, all right, Mike, I know the Mike good. And I swear to you, not 2 minutes went by, we made quads, made $300. And he's standing over his shoulder. We made quads 3 times in 30 minutes.
Oh, my
made $800 on the
my
video
Lord.
poker machine. The Mike Run Good is so real. He's going to try to.
He just had to rub it a little, right?
That's
Guys
right.
aren't finessing it.
He just had to breathe on it. Oh, interesting flop here. Mike's up and down, but Fearless Fish has the Setosaurus Rex.
Dang.
I'm not sure if you're familiar. It's the most feared of all the dinosaurs.
I love it.
Mike could.
Fireworks.
Yeah, it's good. Well,
With the flush on the board, I looked at it really quickly.
Totally. Mike's not going to go too nuts here. This is a little dangerous. He's not going to be thrilled, even if he makes a straight, and it can't, of course, be the 6 or the Jack of clubs.
Now, you've told me he's an action player.
He is indeed.
That is how much did he just bet? 34 into...
Tiny bet.
Now,
and he's
now when
getting
you bet
raised here.
that small into that coordinated of a board, if you're sitting there as Fearless Fish, you're thinking, now hold on. If I got a flush, I'm betting, right? I'm betting to get some value from the sparse clubs, right? If I've got a set, I'm betting. So when he bets that small, it does make you wonder.
I'll tell you what he's doing. What he's doing is he's naming his price to see a turn card. He's not going to get raised very often. His opponent is basically going to have a set or a flush to raise.
Yes.
So what Mike is doing is betting what he like. If he checks, he's going to check to call probably,
Right.
and he doesn't want to check and have his opponent bet 77K.
Yes.
So he makes a blocker bet and forces his opponent to really have a nutted hand.
So he
Otherwise, they're
really-
just going to
okay.
have to call. If they have something like Ace-7 or something, or even an overpair, is probably going to be like, what? And just call.
Yes, sir. So he has a tight enough range. He doesn't feel he's getting a ton of fold equity right there.
No, I
Anyway,
think
so,
he
okay.
thinks that we're continuing on in very often here. So we're going to continue on for less than we would if I
Right.
checked and called.
That makes sense. And you're also gambling on, will this person even raise me, even if they think my range is capped. If the person's not going to do anything about it, they're not going to do anything about it. So that would lead to your play having more validity in that case. I don't know if Fearless Fish is the type of person to press on the flop. Excuse me, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, perhaps he is, and perhaps Mike would get raised there sometimes by hands that were not flushes or sets. But I think Mike just thinks so often that board is going to look scary to somebody who even has like an overpair with no club.
Yes, sir.
There's so many combos of like, it's hard to like that board.
Yes,
is what
sir.
I'm saying.
No, you make a really good point. Also, a lot you can do on different turn cards there.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to make his straight, and a lot. He's going to get better to fold very often. His opponent just happened to have bottom set that time. But Mike is very crafty. He's not just making that bet because he doesn't understand sizing.
No, I
know
assume
you're not saying that.
I was just saying perhaps this is how Fearless Fish could see it. Now, did I see that Fearless Fish is playing 3/4 of these pots? Is that what that just said?
The VPIP is real. We do have our friend AC, who often plays on the stream. He is well known for often playing 100% VPIP. We are trying to work on AC getting over 100%.
If you can pull it off.
Hasn't happened yet, but I believe me, I believe that he's capable of it. In fact, I know he is. Yeah, Fearless Fish back in it here, and is it Fearless Fish versus Mike again? Nah, Mike's gonna give up his suited king.
Raise and take it.
Wait for another day.
Look at all them chips.
Carlos Welch, Moneymaker runs so bad he won the main back when it only paid a third of what it pays today. I know, man. Dude, honestly, how bad can you run?
What's good, Carlos?
2.5 mil? Dude.
Only 2.5 mil.
God, Jamie
Only
Gold won like
2.5.
38 million or whatever the hell he won. 2.5 pennies.
Jamie Gold has an island, right? If you got that kind of money.
Yeah, and by he has an island, I think you mean like he's renting a small apartment in Puerto Rico.
No.
Now, funnily enough, Mike, to continue Mike's story time, Mike's one of Mike's worst poker moments, he told us in the booth the other night, was he lost an 80K pot to Jamie Gold in the maybe like a year after he won that in the main ceremony, sometime in like 2007. Jamie Gold apparently was like bloviating somewhere and missing. I'll play anybody heads up, and Mike's buddies were calling him, Jamie Gold, you got to get down here. So Mike showed up and was like, let's play 100, 200 heads up, let's do it. And Jamie was like, let's play. Let's actually play a full ring game. Here, let's see. Mike is here with a flush draw, but his opponent has nothing. I suspect this hand won't get past the flop.
And if he's
A little fake out by Fearless Fish there. So anyway, so Jamie, sort of per Mike's telling, was like, yeah, I don't know, let's play a full ring game, I guess. And they end up, I think they're playing either 50, 100, or 100, 200, like big no limit
Good
game.
times.
And that Mike had a kings, and I believe 3-bet pot. Mike versus Jamie heads up. It comes ace, king, X. They get it in. Jamie has ace, queen, and makes running hearts to make a flush. 80K. Yeah.
just $80,000.
And so Mike's he's the real deal because that's embarrassing. Mike is a better player than Jamie. There's no doubt about it. Mike is more experienced. Maybe that's stupid for me to say. I haven't seen Jamie play enough, just from what I've heard. But I have seen Mike play a lot. And, he just owns it. He's like, what can you do, man?
Nothing. Well, in the day that... I apologize, guys.
Gonna raise from T Money, suited ace bird.
That's a... Is he confused? That's a real hand. That's
what
not
do I
a
do with
deuce.
this?
That's not a double down hand. What are you doing, T-Money?
Dealer showing a 10. He has no idea what to do. So Fearless Fish and Barry going to complete out of the big blind. We're going to see a 3-way flop. Interesting. We got a gut shot on the nut. That's a great looking board for T-Money, especially
Fun
as
times. A check. Interesting.
Really
Interesting. Because
Yeah.
once somebody calls you on that board, a lot of times you can rule out the sets, well, maybe not. You can rule out some 2 pairs and whatnot, so you can press with that flush draw frequently.
especially in position, they both check to you, discount, double check.
Interesting.
And now here we've bricked off. Now maybe it wouldn't have worked out for him in this hand
Of
because
course.
his Fearless Fish has top pair. He's not going anywhere. But man, I just think I'm continuation betting. That board is all over me. I don't care. Whatever happens, I'm fine with it. Everyone folds, I'm fine. Somebody
Exactly.
calls,
No,
I'm fine. Somebody raises, I'm fine. It's all good.
Right, exactly. If you pick up a pot with a club draw, just what's out in the middle, that is way beyond your
Yeah.
expectation.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, boss.
It's all that airplane air.
What up, Run It Up Legion? Good to see you, brother. Were you in Reno, man? Reno was so fun. Have you been to one of those yet? One of the
I
Run It
have
Up events?
haven't been able to play. Got to play a couple WPT events last year, WCP main event, but not much else.
Now, did you, real toy noob? Thanks for the follow, brother. You're just in time to see T-Money actually, call a river bet there with Ace High.
Interesting. So he's putting him on exactly a float with King Jack, Queen Jack.
Yeah, he just figures, after all that checking, we got all the way to the river, and what part of that board do you really have, dude? And he's like, top pair? And you're like,
You went for it.
okay, that's good.
He just wanted to see it.
Yeah, so anyway, go on. You were saying?
Oh no, just excuse me.
Oh, you're good, dude. It's all right. It's all right. Nut low. What's happening? How are you guys? Thanks for hanging out with us on this Saturday night special stream here on Stones Live. It's our Spring Classic. This is the Insanity Stack knockout event. It was a $500 buy-in. You got $200 per knockout. And here we are on the final table. Oh my God! But in the meantime, guys, have you done marbles yet, man?
I
you
have
ever
no
gone through
idea
life
what is
on
going on.
marbles?
No, man.
Oh, we're gonna race some marbles! Exclamation point play in the Twitch chat if you want to get in on some marbles. Oh, I'm not logged in. No, not like that. Oh my God! Exclamation mark play. And while we're on a little break ski here, basically, man, we're just gonna degen out and hope our marble wins. All right, come on. Hop, grenade.
You got
I'm
this.
logging in.
20 seconds?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not looking good. Oh my God, no, not the password.
I believe in you.
It's a password. Oh, for God's sakes. I'm not going to make it, man. Don't leave me behind. No. Oh, man. All right, I give up. All right.
Good luck,
We're gonna
everybody.
yeah, this is really fun. Everyone who is some Twitch chatters. Sorry, YouTube side. This is a Twitch game. And we're just going to see whose marble wins. Alad Jap, thanks for the follow, man. Welcome to the Stones fam. Right in the middle of our Spring Classic. You picked a good time to follow, my friend.
Pocket Abes, does he have it? Oh, Matt
Friend
Dash.
of the stream, Pocket Abes, out in front.
Sandy Joy,
Now
giving
there-
him a run.
There are different survival rates. Some courses are harder than others.
Mm.
We can't go off the side or whatever. Your marble might fly into oblivion, and that's bad. All right, I'm going to continue to try to log in here.
This is way better than the games they have at baseball parks.
You're not a fan of baseball, huh?
No, I love baseball. No, I'm saying, they usually got follow 3 hats, see what's under each hat.
Oh,
You know what I
see.
mean?
Yeah, you're
this
so
is
right.
way more high tech.
You're absolutely right. We should do marble races on jumbotrons at
Yes, sir.
stadiums. You're absolutely
Oh
right.
my God,
How
this
fun
is
would that
crazy value.
Yeah.
Multiple levels.
be? Instead of the intern who's supposed to be hyping up the crowd is interviewing some guy, and he's like trivia questions. He's getting everything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. The audience
And
is groaning.
He's clearly freaked out. The audience is yelling the right answer. He still isn't getting it.
Totally. My friend says that's the local ghost ball. That's your course record ball out in front. Scriv nerd. Oh, everyone's getting stuck on the whack-a-moles.
Oh boy.
Oh, boost. Oh, it's a 3-way race. It's anybody's race. Real
Oh,
toy noob.
Real
Gab
Toy Noob.
poker.
Subscribe and win.
That's right. Oh man, tough course here. We're getting bogged down.
My lord.
Oh, Scriv nerd. finds himself the sneak path and
That
gets.
is an-
Oh! Not like
What
this.
did you do?
Man, you were looking so good until you weren't. But you ran a good race, and it looks like this is Gab Poker's race to lose. Here we go.
There you go.
Gab Poker. Very nice, very nice
Well
for
done,
the win.
sir.
Well done.
Skill game.
Well done. Definitely a skill game. Just remember, guys, the faster you click your mouse, the faster your marble goes. Absolute skill game. I hope you guys have been studying. So now your third book is on marble races, right? And that's going to be released this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
A lot of the strategy.
Awesome. So this is what Alex does. He goes in his basement, he dims the lights, he blasts the double bass drum metal, and he writes about marbles.
Yes, sir.
And Gab Poker has perhaps been studying some of your notes because he pulled out a big, big win. Awesome. I know, it does feel good just to finish, doesn't it? If you'll pardon the turn of the phrase. It's hard, your marble flies off a lot of the time.
This is true.
Is there a poker game? Yeah, there's a poker game, man. We're just on a little break ski. We're playing the Insanity Stack tournament. It is the final table, and in fact, the final 6. We are working our way down to a winner, giving the players a little break ski. And we can do another race. Yep, 30 seconds to go. I believe I'm logged in, which means I can do !play in the Twitch chat and get in on this next race. Do a couple more of these while we wait for the players to reassemble, and then we'll see who can take it down tonight. So all right, so while we're waiting for this, !play, you were doing all these odd jobs. You find yourself out in the middle of where, the Atlantic or what?
Nah, Pacific there. Yeah, right off of Dillingham, Alaska, off of Alaska.
Oh, way up there.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were like, I got to do something. This is not working for me.
Yeah, and the thing with poker is just you don't have to be the best player. You just have to sit with really bad players. And I found there's a lot of bad players.
That is so true.
So just kind of sat there and played. I read Phil Hellmuth's book, and he said, play these 20 hands, and I did, and I started making money. And
brilliant strategy of Phil Hellmuth.
Yeah, and
Wait for races and
everybody thinks,
money
you're 18 years old. People think, oh, he's going to be a psychopath or something. And
interesting. You just would show up with it.
Well, and that was before I knew anything about analytics or anything. But something I have found out is people do not raise the flop nearly as much as they should. And back then, just because I was such a nit, I would bet the flop with my overpair. They would raise, and they were nitty back then because that was 2006. So that was... You would see more flagrant play at the WSOP, but that was still very close to the time when people would play a little more close to the vest. And I actually was making correct folds without even knowing what I was doing. And then, yeah, thankfully things worked out. Probably wouldn't normally.
So did you start cash or you started tournaments?
I played sit and goes at first. That was a really big deal at the beginning.
Live sit and goes?
Just online sit and goes.
Okay.
I played underaged. And
okay.
Yeah, and then I
Nobody
played...
going anywhere.
Oh, go Douglas.
Whoa, look at this sparkly. This looks like a course somewhere in Macau.
That's exactly what that looks like.
Anyway, go on.
And yeah, I just built up from sit and goes. It took me longer to go from $50 to $1,000 than it took me to go from $1,000 to $100,000.
Interesting.
Because I just had no idea what I was doing. But my big thing was, hey, I don't know how to reload this account because I'm broke. So how about I just play as much as possible and learn as much as possible? And by some act of God, I learned about push-fold math in 2006. And believe it or not, that wasn't a thing at the time. So you would move all in for 10 big blinds, and a guy would call with ace-jack back then, and people would type in the chat, you're an idiot, don't go broke with a queen in your hand. Meanwhile, I was shoving 10-3 offsuit, and people would complain to Poker Stars, this guy's ruining the game. What's wrong with you? And then I learned I could play 30-something tables at a time. Was only making about $1,000 a month at that time, but it was enough to pay my bills. And yeah, I just kept building off of it.
Douglas DC for the win. Nice job, Douglas. Man, obviously you've been studying as well. I'm impressed by all the marbles knowledge here.
They're moving.
Are we going to do one more? No. All right. We're going to go back to the table here very shortly. That's the last of it. We'll do some more marbles later, presumably. In the meantime, back to poker where we've got 6 remaining. We're hunting for the title and $7K and change, I believe you said, for first?
Yes, sir.
Plus all the bounties, $200 per knockout. So now I don't. Now it's a little silly, right? Like, okay, these guys were complaining to PokerStars because you were shoving with 10-3,
Well,
but isn't that
then,
what you want?
Back then, people would file complaints saying this guy's ruining the game. I don't know how to explain that to people, that they really thought you weren't allowed to play like that. But if you're folding ace jack, I can shove with any 2 cards, maybe 1 card, right, and still turn a profit.
I also love the like retarded aphorism. Don't go broke with a queen in your hand.
Oh yeah, that was a
who
big
signed
one
off
back
on
in the
that
day.
one?
That was.
What does that
was a
even
big
mean?
one.
What does that mean?
Ace queen's a drawing hand. Don't play that. And Team Money going back in. He just doesn't care.
And he flops the best of it. That's a good flop for 8-9.
Barry doesn't really have the chips to put pressure on him pre-flop, so does call here, and Team Money gets right in there and flops a pair.
Indeed, and he just knows Barry doesn't have an ace here
Yeah.
because it's unlikely Barry would be just calling pre with an ace.
That's a very good point.
So Team Money is absolutely certain, but he doesn't want to see a turn card. He just likes his hand right now. He bets. Barry folds out whatever equity he had.
Cashing it out.
Indeed, and Team Money finds himself another pot.
Fearless Fish with that 43% pre-flop raise. We're making all this noise about Team Money, but Fearless Fish is just in there.
He is indeed. I mean, you know, he dubbed himself Fearless Fish. He's got a lot to live up to.
He came to play.
Yeah. So it sounds like you pretty much were taking poker seriously, basically right from the get-go.
Yeah, I did not want to work for other people. I did not care about being poor. I did not care about quality of life. I just did not want to work for other people. I showed no promise in academics, no promise in sports, no promise in the business world, and I just wanted to be the master of my own destiny.
It's funny. I've heard that sentiment from you, where you're like, "Listen, I'm of average intelligence,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, but I've just like figured out this thing."
Yes, sir. No, if you study hard enough, what I did was I got very lucky, and I was in Germany when I was 19. A lot of these guys were figuring out things that would become commonplace 5 years later, and they were kind enough to teach it to me. What's going on here? Mike came in.
It's interesting. Now, Team Money opened this pot up. Mike ships it, and Fearless Fish actually also had Ace Queen behind, mucked it after actually not
That's
that much
your
thought.
favorite hand, right?
Oh, I have thoughts, my friend. Now this is so interesting because SR has woken up with 9s, and he's gonna fold them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems pretty tight, but
Okay.
you know, I understand it. It's a weird overcall, but this is this is part of Mike's run good. Like, he just kind of seems to, like, his opponents make odd decisions for no reasons. All right, he's like, Team Money's probably gonna call here. I don't want to I'll ship with 9s all day long, but I don't want to call it off and opt into what is probably a coin flip, or maybe I'm crushed. Who knows?
Yeah, it is tough with what was his stack there?
We'll see in between hands. I didn't quite see.
It's tough if you still have something to play with Team Money.
Indeed, yeah. Yep.
No.
Well, now Team Money's going to try to hold here. Mike, like I said, Mike did have Fearless Fish fold the other another Ace Queen behind him, so he's got 2 of his outs gone immediately. But Mike doesn't like to lose in these spots.
But Mike looks heavenly in that white shirt, and sure enough,
Kabamo. He needs to now fade an 8, and it looks like there is only one left, the 8 of spades.
Oh dear.
Can Team Money find himself 1 out? Seems hard, man. Let's see if he can do it. He's got one more try. Quickly now. Not quite.
It looked.
And Mike does find himself a honey, and he is going to double up through Team Money. And look out now. Mike's sitting on 700K. And he's back, baby, and he's a force to be reckoned with when he's got chips. Yeah, see, Ace Queen good. Yes, and right, and Pocket Apes is, of course, trolling me in a good-natured fashion. I also did. I final table bubbled the pro knockout event at Run It Up Reno, playing on the TV table. Had 9s and opened and got jammed on and called it off and I was like, I'm chip leader with 11 left if I hold. The guy had Ace Queen. The second he tabled his hand, I was like, I cannot win.
Good game.
There's GG.
Y'all have a great
I started taking off my lav mic. Like, I was like, I have no shot. And it was a queen in the window.
Oh my lord.
It was like not even a. So
it's especially insulting in the window.
especially like a dagger. Why? I mean, maybe it'd be worse on 4th or maybe on the. But in any case, like, yeah, I mean, I've always I have a somewhat nuanced opinion of Ace Queen, even though it's the caricature. It's like Scott wishes all the aces and queens would be removed from the deck. In a tournament, of course, it's completely different. You know, it's a great hand to shove with. It is much more of a value hand in a tournament than it is in a cash game. Just because, like, how much are we shoving pre in a cash game? You know, when we're playing deeper stack, it doesn't really work like that for the most part.
Well, cash games are very much a game of 2 pair or better because the stacks are so deep. Tournaments are a game of big pairs, so Ace Queen does go up in value just due to the short stacks. Now this is,
you know, what's better than Ace Queen is Queen Queen. Unlucky for T Money here that he happens to be up against a bigger pair.
Look how happy Dr. Art's graphic is about those queens.
He
is especially joyous. Look at him. He knows he's in the lead right now.
And yes, our headshots are updated in real time based on how the player feels about their current holdings.
Fearless Fish is peering at his A7 like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, like one is, but that is kind of a look of like one is good, one is bad, huh?
Yeah.
You know, kind of
that is the look. Yeah. That is the look.
Yeah. And I think Fearless Fish is not long for this hand with 2 players all in front of him. It's 80K to call. Now, he is getting a great price. 80K to win like 400.
That's
He's
a
getting
nice size
4
pot.
and change to 1. And he is going to try to spike an ace here. I don't blame him.
He came to play.
He did, and he's just, the odds are too good. He can score himself potentially a double knockout sitting on 2.5 mil. He's got a lot of chips to work with.
Yes,
it doesn't affect his stack to call here.
This is true. If you believe you can handle yourself well post-flop, you can justify this call. If you're the type of person to flop the ace and just not find the full button, that could be real difficult. But okay, so T-Money's had enough of this.
Yeah, he ships turn here.
We're done.
We are. Now, Fearless Fish does have a little equity here. He's got a straight draw and an ace, but T-Money is denying him his shot at it here. There's no way Fearless Fish is going to be calling off RU 420 to try to spike it, and he does fold. T-Money's going to see the bad news here in a minute that he actually is not good here somehow.
I thought T-Money had a lot more chips. I like that call more with the ace now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yes,
He's going to score himself a double knockout if he can find an ace, or possibly. And he's just over 4 to 1. He's just like, let's see a flop, you know. So Dr. Art is in fantastic shape here. Just needs to fade one of 2 remaining jacks, and he does.
And he does so.
Dr. Art, patient, finds himself a double up here.
That's 2.
Yeah, after getting lucky on Mike with that 8-10, he made a straight to stay alive, and he is now chipping back up and trying to become a force once again at this table. He is now sitting on almost 300K. Blinds are at 10 and 20K.
I saw Dr. Art has a Brooklyn Nets hat. Now I'm really rooting for him.
Because what hat?
Brooklyn Nets.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So you're what is that? Hockey ball or
basketball?
No, I'm just joking around, dude. Yeah. So is that your sport? You're a basketball guy?
No, I'm not a big basketball guy, but the games are close. You can take the train in New York. They're fun. Brooklyn's great for basketball. So it's just kind of it's fun to be out in Cali and see someone repping them, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's a long way from home. Just make sure you speak close to that mic.
Yes, sir.
Really big difference.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to catch a Kings game while you're here. Too bad.
Yeah, I wish.
So sad.
I really wish.
Taylor's a Kings fan. I just had to give him a little crap, you know.
I'll be closer to the mic, guys. Real close now.
Thank you very much. It's crazy because we have no, I come from
no
I
perception.
come from the radio world where you.
I
wear
heard you were
headsets.
part of Loveline.
I wasn't on. I just ran the board.
You ran the
Yeah,
boards?
yeah.
I listened to that every night growing up, man.
What year were you born?
I was born 1988.
Yeah. Okay. All
so
right. So
right
that was,
in my wheelhouse,
yeah,
right?
like young teenage years.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was like my during my college years. I ran the board up in Santa Barbara for the Santa Barbara affiliate. But yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles, listening to that show since I was a kid.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was a little kid. But in radio, you can hear what you
know
sound
what's
like.
going
But in this
on.
booth, we don't have any concept. But they, speaking back here, really sounds dramatically different.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I'll be right up here.
Thanks,
now.
brother. We want to hear what you got to say, man.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, you're in Brooklyn or Manhattan?
I'm in Queens,
Queens.
Long Island
Long
City.
Island. Oh,
yes,
okay.
sir.
Right on. Islanders?
Not I watch the Devils.
Oh, you're a New Jersey fan.
Yeah, I was in Jersey for a little while.
Oh, because you live on a small island off the coast of New Jersey. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Right. No, I was in Jersey for a while, and I could walk from my apartment right up to the Devils games, and I saw 10 in a season. It was real fun. Used to be the Jersey Nets, yes, sir.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, when did they move to Brooklyn?
I want
I'm
to say
so out
10
of it.
years.
It's
I
been
want
a
to
long
say 10
time.
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay-Z got involved.
Is Hakeem Olajuwon still playing? I don't know.
No,
my
sir.
basketball references are probably a
been a
little
while.
dated. I'm a hockey baseball guy.
Hockey is a great sport.
It is indeed. Now, I do know that the Warriors are really good and
Yeah,
they're pretty decent.
They're the Avengers, man.
Yeah, no
It's hard to beat them.
Yeah, their superpowers are hitting every 3 they shoot.
Yeah.
T-Money going to open this pot up from the buttons, finds himself an ace, has the button, and puts in a raise. Just about the most standard poker event I've ever called in my life. Fearless Fish has King-Queen and is going to call. And we all miss backdoor hearts for T-Money, but most importantly, position and the betting lead. Although it just goes check. T-Money checks back on flop, picks up nut flush draw.
T-Money is
turn.
a hard guy to figure out post-flop. It just doesn't bet with nothing. Doesn't bet when he has something. Does bet some other times. So it just would be really hard to track him post-flop.
And does he just fold the turn? That's so interesting. He picks up the. Oh no, he raises. Did he?
He picked it up.
Okay, so did Fearless Fish bet, and then I didn't see if
I think
T-Money
Fearless Fish
raised.
dumped it. And then I think T dumped. Yeah, he's making it look, I'm checking back a pair. I'm going to pick it up on the turn. And then, yeah, he picked it up.
I just didn't see if T-Money raised, because it looked to me like Fearless Fish
think
bet
he
and
raised.
T-Money raised, and then Fearless Fish folded. So there you go. His check back on flop earns himself a bet on turn, and then he has the heart to raise with the heart draw, and he just steals it. Even though he's bluffing with the best hand, but still, man, he doesn't want to see a call there.
Yes, sir.
What up, Ian Sheriffs? Good to see you guys. Nut low. Since when is Alex in Long Island? I thought you were out west. Ghost of M is wondering.
Nope, Long Island City. I've been there for about a year now. And before that, I was in New Jersey, Kearney, and a certain part in Newark, not the part of Newark you're thinking of. It's, yeah. When people say Newark, New Jersey, and you say I lived in Newark, New Jersey, they think you were banging, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit of a tough city, but there are nicer parts of the city.
Oh,
so.
I just picture you like, on the hood of your car watching the planes land at the airport.
No. Yeah, no, there's Newark is not a place you want to be in
Okay.
a lot of the time. Yeah. But there are nicer parts of the city.
Hey, Taylor. Ghost says check your whispers. You got it, Ghost. Hello, Poker Mama. What's up, Casey? Did you play this event today? I thought I might see you in here. I was looking forward to calling you on the final table. Where you at? Where you at, lady? Have you met Casey yet, Poker Mama? One of our other commentators here on
I
Stones
have not.
Live. Crusher, beautiful woman, brilliant mind extraordinaire. Fearless Fish on the button with sevens. Gonna raise it up. Who wants to contest? Nobody. That's it. I'm just gonna go out on a
Hope that
limb
was
here.
exhilarating, everybody.
Raise and take it. JFK relayed the information about Loveline. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you still follow Adam or Dr. Drew, but they still do a show together.
I love it. No,
They
I
still do
listen
the
to it all
podcast.
time.
There you go.
Yeah. They have changed so much.
Oh,
in
man.
the past 20 years, they say they haven't. That's not true.
Plenty has changed with them and with. Some of the stuff is consistent, but there is plenty that has
Yeah,
changed.
they're
for sure.
getting older. They
Yeah,
have different
exactly.
views.
Yes.
Right? Still like listening to them.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, keep that mind expanded, and it's fun. It's fun listening to stuff you agree with, stuff you don't agree with. Interesting personalities, especially guys that are like, look, if they were wise 20 years ago, presumably maybe they're even wiser now, even if we maybe don't agree.
They have much more expansive conversations now, which I really appreciate because
Yes, so true.
it's hard to get true wisdom anywhere on earth. So just hearing two people that have done so much have an open discussion is very worthwhile if you have the time to listen.
100%. Yo, guys, we're talking about the Adam and Dr. Drew Show podcast, the old Loveline duo, still doing shows together. It's an interesting listen.
And Limp and Dr. Art KG here.
This is an above-average board for Dr. Art. He's trying to let his opponent catch up
but
here.
he's just not getting anything. He knows he doesn't have much.
SR
Look,
does try to
same.
bluff river here.
There you go. Get him off of his ace high, right?
Exactly. Maybe he'll fold an ace. The graphics might be. So yeah, that's Dr. Art's bet. Okay, that's not SR's bet. So SR checked, and Dr. Art finally decided to try to go for some value. He actually played it perfectly. His opponent didn't have anything he could come along with at any point in the hand. So, often slow playing is, it feels better than it actually is a lot of the time, and then you find yourself on river and you've slow played yourself into a small pot. But in that case, it was the right thing to do. He's tried to let his opponent catch up. No can do. So now, when did your playing go from like, hey, I'm making, I'm not working for anybody else. I'm not exactly, living in the Newark Hills or anything, but I'm making a go of it, and I'm my own boss. When did it go from like that to like, you know what? I actually think I could be like a voice in this community, and I have something to contribute here.
To be honest, when that point came, the first 1,000 tournaments I played, I had a negative EV. But then eventually I started building myself up in tournaments and doing fine. And then I won a 200 rebuy back when that was a big tournament. But I knew I didn't know a whole lot about poker. It wasn't until I could beat cash games, just 1-2 online. And I could consistently make money every month fishing around for games, small websites and things like that. And then I came back to tournaments, and I had months back then where I won 300 rebuys
And this is all online.
This is all online, yeah. The great thing about the internet, obviously, you can play so many tables at a time. It's really hard to simulate that live. And then, yeah, I had a number of major
I would argue it's impossible.
Yeah, right.
Unless you are very, very
well
fast.
Very well said, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I came into live poker, and I was fortunate enough to get a EPT final table. And then I thought, okay, I know what I'm doing at this point, because I can make money consistently each month. I can win in live tournaments. I can win in online tournaments. I can win in cash. That's when I started writing about it, because I wanted to, and I started teaching because I wanted to diversify my income a little bit. And what are we doing here? We're calling with ace two. All right.
Yeah, Barry's tired of folding. He sees the ace of spades, and he announces to himself in his mind that it's the prettiest card in the deck, and then he finds the call button.
Money finds similar logic.
The ace of clubs, significantly less pretty than the ace of spades, but his hand is equally garbagey. Look at those equity percentages. 6%. Good flop for sevens. Finds himself the open ender. That board is all over 2 sevens. Mike has bottom pair and everyone else has AIR. So Mike checks. Fearless Fish for sure going to continuation bet this board. And I imagine it just is going to go fold to Mike, who will consider it and possibly call. Mike does not like flopping pairs and folding. So let's see. It's getting kind of expensive in a hurry here. Mike's only got less than 600 behind. This is going to be about 1/6 of his stack, roughly, just to call here on flop. But Mike, like I said, is not a fan of folding pairs. So we'll see what happens. Oh, is T-Money going to get crafty here? He's going to try to rep the hand that Fearless Fish has. Interesting. All right, so there you go. Mike actually has his decision made for him here. He's going to give it a moment's thought, but ultimately he is not going to continue.
Hard to find a lot of good cards on that board for your 6-3.
And unbelievable. T-Money floats.
That's
pure
how you
float.
do it. That's
And
how
he
you do it.
finds the
You don't
ace.
even know if that is a good card.
Yeah, you don't.
Because Fearless Fish will play the ace-9, the ace-8, the ace-6.
He will indeed, and he is drawing super live despite that that miracle. The old 1 on the turn. And I wonder, so Fearless Fish not slowing down here. That's a bad card for him, but he's going to pretend like it isn't. That's good. That should be good for him in plenty of universes.
You see that strong arm bet? You shuffle the chips and then you put it in, you flex your muscle. Whenever I'm watching that, I always go,
You have nothing.
yeah, well, it doesn't always mean that, but I'm going to pay attention to
Totally.
it, right?
And
But
then, interesting.
It's because you'll see guys do it a little bit more delicately on other occasions. And then if you do get to see the hand, which obviously is not always a luxury you have, you can correlate it.
You can see Fearless Fish very annoyed. He doesn't understand why T-Money can have the hand that he does.
That is You are just confused as all hell when
Yeah.
that hand gets turned over.
You basically, you know,
Look, he even looks embarrassed.
I guess. Well, I mean, I guess he thinks. Well, you can, if. What turn card was my opponent hoping for? He's wondering. Like he didn't even raise me. Like he wasn't trying to get me to fold. He wasn't making moves. He just called me on the flop, and presumably he was looking for an ace on the turn? Question mark. And then I know the feeling, right? And then it's like, all right. Then I bet again on turn, and I get called, and it's like, uh-oh, now I'm in shutdown mode. But I haven't opened a straight draw. And then it's like the king of freaking pumpkins, and you're like, really? And then you're like, well, there are plenty of universes where I'm still good here. And then your opponent just somehow has a random ace, and you're like, what?
Yes.
Like nothing about anything about that hand made any sense.
And the great thing about tournament poker, there's a lot of great technicians that'll see a hand like that and fall apart. And tournament poker is about you can't walk away from the table. You got to put it together now.
We're here. We're playing. Whether you are or not, your chips are in play.
Fearless Fish is just getting right back in there versus Barry. Flats out of the big blind.
How long is the delay, Matthew Franson? Like 30 minutes or so. John Southern, idiot player from Northern Europe. Oh, sorry.
That is the
I was
greatest
Phil
quote
Helmia
ever.
thing out. Honey, he called me with Queen 10.
I can dodge bullets, baby.
Oh, Phil.
Fearless Fish does not want to play chicken right now.
What up,
board.
Fat Train? How are you, brother? Good to be on the other side of the chat room from you, man. I don't know if you know Justin Fat Train, another co-commentator. He's one of the Thirst Lounge 10, one of Bill Perkins' hosts out there in the Virgin Islands, living in the
Nice.
stream house.
Good times.
It's been some fun streams there. Been watching a lot of Train play over there, as well as the other 8 hosts. I don't know what the update is on one of the hosts, Kat, left. So now they're down to 9, and they're looking for a new host. So I'm not sure what the status is, but they're looking for a new housemate. It's quite the life out there. I don't know how much of it you've caught, but they're living on like a drug dealer house on the cliff in the Virgin Islands, like infinity pool out over the ocean. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Lord.
Totally ridiculous.
I mean, you got to do that once in your life if you're going to play cards.
Oh yeah, especially
More
on Bill
power to
Perkins'
'em.
dime.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Go for it.
Absolutely. Hello, Andrew Postle. That's Mike's brother in the YouTube chat. Is the camera out of focus? No, you're just high. I am kidding. Andrew knows I'm kidding. Fearless
called
Fish. Oh, interesting flop here. Fearless Fish has the ace of clubs, so he's not going to hate that flop. Plus, he's got a 7 bird, but Barry has the real flush draw. And he finds it right away, which is going to give Fearless Fish the nut flush draw. He's not going anywhere on that turn card.
This is about to be fun.
Yes, indeed. This went check call on the flop by Fearless Fish, and here we are on turn. I'm imagining he will open check again. This would be a spot maybe in cash where players might like. Oh, are we all in here?
Oh, really? Here we go.
We didn't see how the betting went.
He fired to get him off that 10 or 9.
So so Barry shipped it, and Fearless Fish calls. He's going to be hunting for one more club.
There we go.
Barry in great shape here to find himself a double.
Good luck to you, sir. Oh, it was black.
Yes, but the wrong black, and the king high flush is good for Barry. That board was set up perfectly for him to double through Fearless Fish. And there you go. We're up to over 400 now for Barry, and this is still anybody's tournament. We are still 6-handed, right?
I believe so.
They're still on the hunt for the 10th host. Hashtag TL10 on Twitter or Insta. Oh, we gotta watch some of those video submissions. Man, those are great. Now, hey, Jamin Burton, what up, brother? He says, do you still rap battle at all?
You know, I've been really focused on my business, pokerheadrush.com, over the last year or two. So it's been hard getting to a battle. I did have a battle scheduled a little while back, but the guy had to cancel about a week before. So
He wussed out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard in New York because New York is the biggest battle rap scene in the world. So there's not as much of a place for a goofy white
Sure.
kid to come in, but, whereas you'll find a lot of love in California, right?
Oh, right.
So it's been a little tougher finding a battle.
Well, it's part of the deal about New York is like it's one of the biggest fill-in-the-blank scenes in the world. It just kind of works. It's
Yeah,
New York, man.
Pretty much
Yeah,
everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
It's always popping.
You know. Opening.
Dr. Art opening to under the gun. Now see, because he is a little tighter, sometimes you'll have people call him there versus that bigger bet and then just check fold very quickly and he chips up. Let's see, but with those blinds, it's going to be a problem here.
Yeah, he's got about double the pot behind Dr. Art does, but he's been outflopped in a big way here.
Oh, but he might get away from it now.
Oh, because Barry just leads right at him.
Now, you can do that versus very aggressive opponents who are likely to fly off the handle. I don't mind that, but is that really Dr. Art's spiel?
It sure hasn't been thus far, has it? Not from what we've seen on this stream.
He just cost himself a C-bet right there.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, now, Dr. Art has been...
Yeah, you're
she
right.
has
He's
checked
cagey.
behind a couple
He's cagey.
times tonight.
Cagey.
But I'm not. I basically don't mind any turn card with King Queen in this spot, besides an ace, of course. So
I was about to say.
I mean, it's also just sort of an odd. You call pre your first act and you sort of donk lead. It always feels a little odd, especially when I've got the board that locked. So I mean, I just think like 0 out of 20 times am I leading, maybe 1 out of 30. Or something opponent specific, but like I'm open checking there basically 100%.
I do love the donk bet as a play because, like you said, for many players they don't donk bet that often. So it's much like to take it to baseball. If this guy can hit a fastball, I'm going to throw him a changeup, right? Because there's a lot of people they're just not used to the donk bet. So there are times to work it in. I just don't know if that was the occasion, right?
Yeah,
there.
and to your point, I have actually been consciously thinking that as well, but I've been doing it on the turn more, where I've been check calling flop leading turn because you're right, it is sort of people are not expecting it. You confuse them, and a lot of the guys that can hit fastballs are expecting you to open check turn after you checked flop and called BKM TL. Thanks for the follow, man. We appreciate it. Welcome to the Stones fam, brother. And so, I have found it to be, it works in a few ways. Number one, your opponent is now immediately confused. You buy yourself either a fold or a just call so often, so you kind of name your own price, and it just puts them off kilter, sets up river bluffs.
That's
you just like take over control of it. But I've yet to really incorporate that on the flop. I've been doing it on 4th Street.
There are definitely times. There's a lot of action right now too. We have an ace, king, and queens. We might see a big old pot here.
Classic hold'em situation.
We'll talk
just
about
call.
donk betting a little bit more. Interesting.
Yeah, the SR wants to try and hit a flop. He doesn't have much behind him. Shocked to see that flop.
I'm surprised as well.
It's
almost an all-in. He's got half of it out there.
Yeah, he's got a pot-sized bet
maybe
behind.
he's just going to shove every flop.
He's going to open shove everything.
Well, it might not work here.
Yeah.
Sadly, you look at that
Spoiler
board and go, sweet, I'm shoving.
And you're absolutely right. He's just opening every flop.
That play has a lot of logic when you put it in a card runner's EV and you work with people who might fold a second pair or something like that. I don't know a ton about Barry, but if he does believe that's the case, let's see. All right, Barry.
What do we do here with top set?
All right, Barry, do some acting. Look up and down. I mean, this isn't bad. Obviously, when we can see the cards, we know what it is, but...
I mean, what can your opponent have? A spade draw? Would a spade draw lead at you? Or I mean, it gets a little...
Is he... If that is a genuine concern, it's whether do I call here or do I... But what does he have left? Okay, now he puts it... To be fair to him, he really made that look like 8s. Right? Just, okay.
Do I just raise here? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and SR does decide to fold. He's going to preserve his tournament life. So you were right. Yeah, he did want to, he wasn't ready to ship pre. He wanted to play it see, the problem, though, if we don't ship there, obviously it wouldn't have worked out for him that time. Unless it was going to come running 10-jack. Who knows? But it almost certainly was not going to work out for him. They're getting it in pre, and it looks like Queens was set to win the coin toss there. But the thing is, if you just call there on that short of a stack, you end up incorrectly folding flop a lot.
Yes, it takes a real technician to make that work. Pasagno used to do that online quite a bit, and he could make it work. But to see how much work, I do know that guy personally, to see how much work he put in to make that work was incredible. And I think the vast majority of the time, you just got to trust you're not going to be that perfect on the flop and just put it in. Oh, and I guess blinds are up.
The suited King Jack is definitely an open for
He does-
SR.
And he does not. Did he just push it?
He's got 380, and he decides. It's so interesting. So he raises for more than half his stack. So I mean, what is the merit to doing this rather than just open shipping?
I have gotten creative like this before, and then had people call me and then fold on the flop. But there's also some logic in that some people feel weirder about raising someone all in versus they do fetishize I call with something on the borderline. It does feel very good to make a slim call, whereas raising all in with something on the borderline, if you're clearly wrong, looks pretty dumb. So sometimes it will shave off the ass end of somebody's calling range, but in general, I think you can just push it in there and pray that you fold an ace.
Right. I mean, and that, I guess maybe there's some logic behind, like, well, if I do that, maybe I induce someone to spaz out on me. But when we have less than when we're in for more than half of our stack, anyone who spazzes out on you is never. You can never fold. Why would they spaz out on you?
By the way, you have king high. It's
you
not
have king
good
high.
if they spaz.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have heard that logic before, and then I'm looking at the hand. I go, king high is not that good.
Yeah, totally. All right. It looks like you guys really were not a fan of that ace king versus queen's hand. You're saying the ace king was playing horribly? Well, let's call this hand first. Another classic Oldham situation, suited overcards versus Mike's fives, and they're going to get it all in. Mike's going to try to bust SR. If his fives can hold, he's going to earn himself a bounty, $200 cash money, and then we'll get one closer to our wiener here tonight. Mike actually a dog here. But SR's got to improve. Let's see if he can find some paint. No can do. The ace of spades is good, but the rest of it is pretty bad. And he needs to find himself a queen or a jack quickly.
It's getting dire.
One shot left. Can he find some paint? Yes, he can.
Oh.
Mike cannot hold. The fives get busted on the river by SR's queen jack, and SR's going to double up, and that leaves Mike on the short stack, I believe, here. Oh, the queens played it horribly in that hand. So they're saying instead of raising with that top set that they would just call.
Yeah, because I definitely think a call there is advisable, because if the guy's got a flush draw, he's getting it in anyway, and you got to give him a shot with whatever he's goofing off there to just keep coming at you, right? I was very surprised to see that.
I was too. I mean, yeah, I think if my opponent happens to have a spade draw, okay, fine.
Such is life.
Fine. Yeah, it's such
right.
right.
He's not folding.
Exactly. Right. But like, even if he does, I mean, I just have the board locked. Like I'm just calling there too. And then just hope that he like turns an ace or a king or continues to spaz out on turn. But when I'm not afraid of any turn, I don't even care if a spade comes. Like
right.
You really have a flush? Okay. How often are you going to show up with a flush?
That was very unexpected.
Yeah, it definitely was. Icy Tadpole, lol, look at them trying to justify his stupid half stack raise. Dude, we're just talking through the logic, man. That's what we're here to do.
My job is not to rip people up and down.
Yeah, that's
To
right.
call the action and make it fun.
Exactly.
That's
well,
it.
look at them trying to you want us to just like be quiet or yeah, no justification here, man, or no praise or insulting. We're just talking through what they might be thinking.
And that is not the hand you want to run into when you raise
No
to
kidding.
120K.
Well, I don't.
Team money is
Yeah.
dang. Team money, you play.
Yeah, you speak the truth there, Andrew. Mike does not run terrifically late in tournaments. Thank you, my friend. We have our payouts.
There we go. 7,000 up top.
Yes, exclamation point payouts, which I will do right now. Yeah, I'm not sure what you guys keep talking about with the blurry camera. We're looking at the same thing you are, and you guys might just be drunk.
Also could be a connection issue with yourself.
Yeah,
Sometimes
totally.
you have bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the research station on Antarctica, and I can't figure out why the internet is slow.
That does happen, yes.
And this is a interesting spot for T-Money here.
You know, I don't understand everything T-Money does, but he would be really hard to track during a hand.
Yeah. He does not. He listens to Anton the Lionheart, and he does not race. He just calls. He's got it locked up on the turn, but neither one of them, there's all these red cards. And now T-Money doesn't want to see a river. He just ships, and that's going to be the end of the hand. SR is going to give a little FaceTime, little Hollywood, little save into the face. And he's going to
that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. No need for the 30 seconds. Let them think you had a little something there. That's all it takes.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't need to tank through like an entire 311 song and then fold. We can just give it a 5 Mississippi, and then
come original, do it right.
So well said. Okay, so it is $7,000 up top, 7008. We got $5,000 for second, 3,500 for third, 24, almost 2,500 for fourth. And let's see, we're at 6. So these guys have all locked themselves up at least 1,460 plus whatever bounties they've won. It was $200 cash per knockout. Presumably, these guys have at least a few bounties in their pocket if they've made it all this way. And they are now fighting it out for 7 G's up top.
And Mike P is in.
He's going to ship it. Try to double up and get back in this hunt. And Queen 7 is not worthy. Oh, gosh, but Barry looks like he doesn't want to go anywhere.
But he wants
He's going to call. Wow.
He knows he has Jack High somehow. Now,
unbelievable.
How big is the big blind there? There could be
55 more. And I think what are we at 20K or 25K? So there you go. I mean, he's just gonna. You know what? Mike's a dangerous player. He's just gonna try to knock him out right now. And he's got the best hand
with an okay price.
Exactly. So Mike Mike improves. Barry is now in dire straits, drawing to 1 queen or running straight cards. That is not one of them. Barry needs to find the case honey, the queen of hearts. Otherwise, Mike is gonna find a double up.
Not
quite. He does. Barry Rivers a straight draw, and that's going to mean Mike is he's still on life support here at 130K, just about 5 blinds or so.
Still dangerous.
Yes, indeed, he's still in it. And as I learned that Joe Stapleton coined the term "chip in a chair." Now, Joe himself is the one who told me that he coined that phrase.
Really?
But I'm pretty sure he's telling the truth. Yeah. So, in the words of Joe Stapleton, all you need is a chip and a chair. What up, Monster Hands? Damn, I was hoping Scott was going to be at the Grand so I could get some of his chips at California Grand and Concord. Yeah, man. If you mean tonight, I might have been, but here I am up at Stones for our Insanity Stack event as part of our Spring Classic. Hanging out with Alex. Now, you go by Alex, not Alexander, right?
Yeah,
okay,
it'd be pretty pretentious to go by Alexander.
Well, but I've noticed, in your public presence, it's a lot of Alexander.
Well, I guess it sounds more business-like, maybe. I don't know. Whenever the publisher says, what name do you want on there, I say, my mother would appreciate Alexander, but you guys call me Alex. It's fine.
This flop is fine for SR. Has himself a flush draw, and Fearless Fish has nothing. So,
but he's fearless.
He is. He got checked too. He's going to bet it from the button. Ice Pulse, thanks for the follow on Twitch, brother. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Stones fam.
Now, are you going to lead here on that turn?
He does. He open ships it.
All right.
And he's just, I guess he's praying his opponent has an ace and will call.
Mm-hmm.
But if our opponent has an ace, why don't we just check to him and let our opponent bet? I don't know. What do you think? Check, call, flop, open, ship turn when we bink our nut card.
I'm not immediately turned off by it, especially if he does believe the person ever checks back there with a value hand, and he doesn't believe the person has much of a bluffing range. But I don't love it either, because you do give him a chance to fold a garbage ace, right? Because what is he shoving there? Yeah, that did surprise me. That is, I don't want to bust this tournament.
Right, exactly.
That's a lot of that,
yes,
right?
100%. Hey, Vanessa Cade. What up, homegirl?
What's going on, Vanessa?
Nice to see you. Did we get a host from Vanessa Cade? Awesome. I think so. Unless she's talking to Pocket Apes.
But we said hi. Anyway.
And she did host. Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate it a lot. Now, Vanessa will be here tomorrow. Looks like she's going to pack, and looking forward to seeing her as part of the honored guests here at the Spring Classic, the Stones Spring Classic. We're just getting started here. 11 straight days of streams. Chris Moneymaker's in the house. Alex Fitzgerald is in the house. And I know Jeff Boski either will be here or is here. And it's going to be a great week of poker, tournament, and cash action here at Stones and Citrus Heights. Come on out if you have yourself some Southwest money or if you're nearby. Now, speaking of your mom, who appreciates your full name being used, how were your parents about, like, when you started to pursue poker?
I guess because my dad's profession as a commercial fisherman was not very traditional at the time, and he did have a traditional education, but he decided to go out on his own. I never really got much resistance from them. It was kind of, if you're paying the bills, keep doing it, but don't be dumb, right? if you got to grab a job, you got to grab a job.
Speaking of wisdom, yeah.
Yeah. But not a lot of resistance, not a lot of encouragement. And then once they saw it was going a little bit better, they were a little more into it.
Yeah, this as many of my poker friends have noted, when you make that first big score, then all of a sudden their attitude changes real quick.
Right. Well, my mother was a teacher, and they never pay teachers anything. So her thing was, yeah, I get it. You got to make money in this world. And if you're making money, I get it, right? Just keep going, keep your nose clean, do it the right way. Oh, Mike is all in.
Yes, he is. He's going to try to...
Fearless Fish has the chips to gamble and a pair, but does not decide to do so.
Barry has a real pair here. Good fold, a well-timed fold of those deuces. It's tempting to want to coin flip with Mike, but Barry wakes up with nines. And he ships behind, and unless somebody wakes up with a monster, it's going to be a coin flip. Mike's in great shape. Oh, Dr. Art did have ace-9 suited, but he dumps it. Mike's in pretty good shape here, especially given that the 9 of clubs was folded right there. And as such, Mike's actually a slight favorite here. If Barry's going to set mine, he's got 1-9 left in the deck. All right, here we go. This is, Mike's a force. If he can find himself a double here, he's going to be up around 500K. He'll be right back in it. And there's a queen in the window.
And I think there isn't another 9 in the deck. Didn't we see 2 9s folded?
Did we? Oh, I just thought this saw the 9 of clubs.
It was very brief, but I thought...
Okay, you're right.
Thought we did see a queen 9 folded.
You are correct. Mike's got it locked up on the turn.
Good game. Well, not good game. Good play. Good action.
There you go. So Mike shakes off the run bat of losing on the river with those 5s and finds himself 2 straight doubles, and he is right back in the hunt here. Shooting for over 7,000 up top. Vanessa be in Sacramento tomorrow night. See you guys Monday. Righto. See you Monday. Excited to see you. It's been a while. When is Bosie going to be there? I don't know when Jeff gets to town. Probably within the next day or two. We'll get confirmation on that. What up, Bieber? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see all the familiar faces. All the Stones fam hanging out on this Saturday night. We got Alex Fitzgerald in the booth in the house. Inaugural trip to Stones. So you've eaten. I'm guessing you've had some Sammy's food.
Oh yeah.
So good. What'd you
good.
have?
The salmon was amazing.
Oh, yeah, buddy. So you didn't, I always envision I worked at In-N-Out Burger in high school, and now I can never eat In-N-Out again. Despite all that time spent on fishing boats, you're still down with the fish, huh?
Oh yeah, I love fish. Well, if you get wild caught salmon, you get what you pay for, essentially. Those guys do take care of it pretty well. Now, other types of salmon, if you want to YouTube it, you might not want to eat it again.
The farm-raised stuff,
yeah,
really?
there is. But you got to remember, I'm biased, right?
Yeah,
That's
of
what
course.
My family
you have an agenda.
So,
yeah, I gotcha.
But no, I don't eat the farm-raised salmon.
Yeah, this is why, there are some areas of life where ignorance appears to be blissful. That's one of them. I saw Food Inc. I know Foster Farms is not exactly running a freaking you know, their farms don't run on good vibes. You know,
No, sir.
I get it. But also, like, you know, we've like conquered hunger and stuff. Like that's got to count for
Yeah.
something.
Well, I heard of a man who wanted to come to the United States, and they asked him, why do you want to come to the United States? And he said, I want to go somewhere where the poor people are fat. So, and once I heard that, I thought, that is pretty rare in a lot of the world.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Wow, look at this. Fearless Fish in the big blind gets a walk with Jack 4. That feels good. We were asking a little earlier. Matthew in the YouTube chat is asking if you're going to play tournament. I was asking you earlier, like, what you're planning on playing while you're here. But you're mostly focusing on commentary.
Yeah, just focusing on making it as fun as possible for you guys. So, yeah, not going to be playing as much as maybe I'd like.
So when you like, how do you prioritize your playing time these days? You know, what's the order of what's most important to be at?
I try to play an hour of cash a day just to stay current in everything. I'm just really excited with doing my own thing as far as the training sites and stuff like that. So I just always wanted to own a business, run a business, and that's really captured my fascination over the last year. So, but I do try to get out to the WPTs, the WSOPs, the big tournaments and
Sure.
everything.
Yeah, I have thoughts on that, like, you know, having your own business and, you know, businesses outside of just, you know, playing the cards for a living, but having that be part of the mix. But in the meantime, let's see if anything goes down here in the face of T-Money's raise. The old royal flush draw. Looks like Barry is going to only have to call 30 more out of the big blind, so he is going to do that with the 10-9.
Definitely good enough for a call.
Absolutely. Everybody whiffs this flop. Barry, of course, has one play, and it's open check. T-Money whiffed that, so this is and you know, this is a board for that's good for him. So he is going to rep as if he has something like ace jack instead of queen jack, and it's going to work. Barry folds 10 high. We're bluffing with the best hand. We're scooping to chips. Yeah, so I'm the same way in that, like, you know, I have an entrepreneurial mindset, and I didn't really ever want to work for somebody else, mainly because I like wearing flip-flops, and so and sleeping in. So I realized that, like, I've structured most of my adult decisions around the ability to wear open-toed shoes and not have an alarm in the morning, you know?
Those actually aren't bad goals. That
I know.
will teach you something.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, but, like, you know, as it pertains to poker, you know, earlier in my life, I was relying on playing cards for more of my income, and, you know, having a very low overhead, living with roommates and stuff. And while, you know, I ultimately must have preferred that to, like, you know, humping some 9 to 5, because that's what I was doing. So I must have, you know, it's like, it's not an easy life by any means. So the point is, having other business ventures now, you know, with later in my adult life, having a couple craft beer bars and stuff outside of poker, it makes the actual card playing, when I do it, vastly more enjoyable. I know this is not news, you know, but when you have all these other sort of ventures that are not actually just playing the cards, it's more fun when you're playing cards. Is that fair to say?
Of course, yes. People always attach this romantic notion to the fact I went pro when I was 18 years old, and I was like, guys, I played with a gun to my head for most of my life. Like, there was no lose, right? And for certain reasons, my mother can't work, so I do take care of her. And it's really hard to call your mother and go like, hey, sorry about groceries, my aces got cracked, right? So
Freaking guy, man, he had queen 5 suited.
What happened?
I couldn't hold. I just needed to hold one time. Does Costco accept credit card?
Right. It's also, you don't play your best poker when you're worried about the money. Now, obviously, you can get to a point as a professional, you're managing your bankroll well enough that you could be very freed up when you play, but many times when you have other things going on, you have dependents and whatnot, that's just not going to be realistic. You're going to have a lot of your money tied up, and I think it's actually a very professional thing for a poker player to have other avenues of income. It's very anti-fragile. You're much more versatile. I think it's very dangerous to rely on solely a game of chance, even one that has a skill advantage, such as this game. And what are we doing here?
Yeah, it looks like Dr. Art is shipping.
There we go. Good
Fearless-
time, Art.
Indeed. Fearless Fish raising from the cutoff, and Dr. Art ships it out of the big blind. And Fearless Fish, he says, you know what? I'm just going to call it off.
I've got the chips, let's go.
Exactly. I've got chips. I'm probably live here. He is. And we're going to try to crack the old Jack 10. Here we go. Dr. Art needs a hold to stay alive. He needs to fade at 8 or a 7. He's got a pretty good shot to do just that. Oh, and there it is on the turn. Dr. Art now goes to from big favorite to big dog. He needs a jack or a 10, and he can't do it. Fearless Fish is going to find the knockout, and that is $200 cash money in Fearless Fish's pocket, and we are down to 5. Everybody has now locked up $1,752, and we are playing for the over $7,000 top prize, plus, all those cash money knockout tournaments. They are fun.
Good
Man,
game, sir. Yeah.
I couldn't score myself in that. It was a pro bounty that I played at Run It Up, and I there was only, I think, 7 or 9 or something like that pro, or whoever the crew labeled as pros.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find myself one, so I just ended up having to settle for 11th place money. But man, when you get to right there, and you're one of 2 tables, and everyone's playing shorthanded. You're playing hand for hand. You're right there. It's so frustrating. I really, that's what I got to figure out how to make that final push. My sample size is tiny because I don't play tournaments very often, but
Yes.
I seem to really love that final table bubble.
Well, you know what I think? I've final tabled 2 EPTs, and
What do you know, man?
well, the one thing I noticed is the best way to bubble a final table is to just not play your normal game. If a 3-bet is a big part of your game, if opening certain hands is a big part of your game, if you start shutting that down at the final couple of tables, that's a great way to finish 11th. Whereas if you know how to do a light 3-bet, you know how to do a light open from early position, that is the time to press. Because many people, they do get to those final 2 tables, and they're very worried about telling people they finished 10th as opposed to taking the very big final table photo. So that is the time to press. And I find a lot of people, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your car kind of goes where your eyes go. If you're thinking about the final table bubble, you tighten up, it's going to happen. That's my general belief.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I really was I was playing for the win there. At the risk of sounding cliched.
Good.
I mean, obviously if it's a big event and we're talking like 10K money jumps, that would not be the case. But in this case, playing for 8K up top, 600 to bust it, none of this moves the needle like the big 6-figure
Yes.
score. So I want the trophy,
Exactly.
And so I really, that's why I called it off with those 9s. I was just like, I know I'm flipping here. Let's just go. Let's go. I'm chip leader if I can hold.
I want to go to this final table with the chips. And we got a call right here by T Money out of the big blind, Mike P, with a much more versatile hand.
Interesting that the opener has 7-8 and the caller has Ace-6, kind of a flipped script here. T-Money has whiffed, and so has Mike, but Mike's in the betting lead here.
If you're going to steal from under the gun, this is the hand to do it with. You're in a different ballpark than many people would believe you have.
That is very true. Now, T-Money has shown that he will float with ace garbage, even if he has completely whiffed the flop. He did it not too long ago and found an ace on the turn. And he looks like he wants to do it here. He's calling. He has the best hand.
Well, and it looks like Mike P is on a stack where it's going to be very difficult to double barrel on.
It is.
As a bluff.
Yes, it is. And he's semi-bluffing if he does it. He picks up a nut shot here. He can make himself a 6. But, yeah, you're right. It's so tough. I mean, doesn't it just feel like we're firing into oblivion here?
If I would be very impressed if we see a bet here.
Mike is a great player, and he's fully capable
That
of not
is
being
a-
scared of a call on the flop. He saw
That
T-Money.
is a hell of a read.
It's a great call. A great bet. He saw T-Money float with ace high
Yeah.
an hour ago. He knows he's capable of calling with something that is not going to call turn.
That being said, that takes a lot of heart from that stack size, and a lot of guys just will give this to T-Money at this point.
You're right.
You have to make a very pinpoint read in order to pull off this play.
But God, T-Money might be making an even better read here. He wants to call.
Wow.
Nah, but he can't do it. His instincts
Well
told
played,
him.
Mike.
Very well played by
Well
Mike.
played.
He gets it through. And what is this, espresso? Espresso shot?
It's for,
Oh my God, can I have one?
yeah.
Thanks.
It's my favorite thing on earth,
I
here.
love
Caffeine.
myself some espresso. Man, so if I have to like paint my favorite thing in the world, not that I'm answering a question you didn't ask me. It's doing an espresso shot. Like I was just at the LA County Art Museum with my kid brother. Espresso shot, and then another espresso shot, and then go see some art, baby.
That
I love
actually
it.
sounds
There's
like a
nothing
nice
better.
rush.
Oh, so
That's
good.
Coffee, hip hop, and
Yes,
poker.
exactly.
That's my thing. Coffee, hip hop,
Hip-hop.
and poker. That's just where it's at.
So
man.
the death screamo metal is for when you're working.
That's when you're just writing and you can't think, because see here's the thing: you put on the metal because it'll stop you from thinking. Stopping yourself from thinking while you play poker, not the greatest move
Thinking
you've
is
ever made.
an asset.
Yeah, it does help
Yeah,
on
helps.
occasion.
Yeah,
there's sometimes I play and it's pretty clear I'm not thinking, but most of the time you need to do it.
I want you guys to bust out your steno pads and write that down. This is from Alex Fitzgerald. Make sure to, I'm going to write it down. Try to think. Words of wisdom.
I have told myself those exact words walking out of many poker tournaments, so I hope they serve you well, everybody at home.
Let's see if these 10 serve Barry well. He's facing a raise from Fearless Fish, who has a suited Kang. A 3-bet incoming, I think.
Is that a 3-bet?
From Barry. Yep. Make it 160 to go. And T Money wakes up
go.
with AK, the church.
Fire one. Well, I mean, what do we think Barry's 3-betting here? Barry doesn't strike me as someone who's just gunning on that 3-bet.
No, it definitely is. It's strong, and you can see T Money has given it some thought. But
You
the
still
thing
got
is,
to push, in my
exactly.
opinion, but if you have ace queen there, that is just bizarre when you look down at that spot.
If T Money has ace queen instead of ace king,
He's got a fold ace
Yeah, you
queen.
think it's a fold?
So
because
this is near the ass end of his range right
yeah,
there.
yeah, it does seem like that's the case. And yeah, I mean, we're saying it's a ship for Team Money here because despite the fact that Barry's 3-bet is very strong, he's been playing snug. This is the first 3-bet I think we've seen him make so far.
I think so.
But the thing is ace king is beating still some of the hands even tight Barry might be doing this with ace queen suited, etc. So the ace king is just too strong here. I think we have one move, and it's
There we go.
ship.
Now Barry doesn't automatically call off here if it gets jammed.
Why is ace king the church? That is Twitch poker streamer Kevin Martin, and his nickname for that hand. He worships at the altar of ace king. And thus I have, all the Anna Kournikova, all that bull crap, that's all dated and, we've heard it. So the church is a bit of a new nickname, newer nickname.
Like it. I
So
like that.
there you go. Where's my church emotes?
Now
Got 'em in
Barry's
here
sitting
somewhere.
there going, does
There
he
we go.
do that with 9s? And if he doesn't do it with 9s, you're flipping or you're destroyed.
Right, we're right, exactly. So we're opting into at best a coin flip.
Yes, sir. So this is not automatically put your chips in. And Team Money seems like the kind of guy who likes to root around on flops, see what you're going to do, take advantage of you from there. So when he just fires in here, you got to wonder, what is that?
You do, yeah. You got what could it be? I mean, ace king is probably the bottom of what he would be doing this with.
Right.
It's so strong. But Barry, I mean, okay, jeez, 10s would be. I don't know, what would I do with 10s here? God dang, I think I would find a fold plenty of the time with 10s here.
Yeah.
Just feeling like my opponent's just going to roll 2 freaking queens every time, And even if they have ace king, now I'm tossing a coin for my tournament life. So yeah, Barry has 700K back. He has plenty of chips left if he folds here. He's not so short that he has to call it off.
It's folded now. He just exposed his hand, right? Well, I mean, no, how many people do this and
then call,
and then
yeah.
call? Yes.
He does fold.
Yeah, you got to call out fold there.
He does fold, and that's a terrific ship by T Money.
Yeah.
The power of the AK, the church. There you go. That's the power, guys. When you
There it
win
is.
with not the best hand. You can get people to fold better. Again, not that that's news or nothing. And now back to the coffee talk. Coffee talk. Full on poker. And undertow is my favorite. 1 pump vanilla, inch of cold half and half, shot of espresso, but let it hit your spoon and this is elaborate, and fall in on the side of the cup, not direct hit of the cold cream. Oh, layered hot. Oh, I can see that. Sure, some hot cold layering. That's really like, I don't know if it's underrated or what, but I guess when it comes to culinary experiences, you know, nothing better than like the super fresh burrito with like the hot chicken, hot beans, cold guac, cold salsa.
Yes.
You know.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm hungry.
Hot and cold. I know. Yeah. Can we get 2 chicken burritos, please? And 6 shots of espresso.
Raised to 80K. Guess he's been a tight enough he could get away with this. Although Team Money is going to be a thorn in your behind. Fearless Fish as well. And now you're multi-wage to the pot with a hand that makes very bad pairs.
Yeah, indeed.
That's typically not the spot you want to be in.
I love this. Team Money is in a terrific position on the button, and he finds
He's
himself
in a good position now.
a Cetosaurus Rex. Very dangerous dinosaur, and in fact, this dinosaur has his opponents dead.
Hey,
Although,
Renee.
God, no, it's okay. I did see that. You should address it in a moment. But Fearless Fish has turned kings and nines.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear
What
God.
a cooler.
Oh, dear
He's
God.
value betting here on turn.
Thankfully, it brings in a third heart for him. But there's a possibility this doesn't get too bad. But it's certainly bad when you have 2 pair versus a set.
It's just a cooler. What can you do?
Well, and Team Money is pretty cagey, too. I don't... Hey, Renee, thank you for the kind words about the One Outer podcast. I'm really happy to be back as well. It's good to hear Barry.
It's a good podcast.
Oh, you listen? Thank you.
I do, for sure. Oh, I mean, I host a podcast, not about
yeah.
poker, but I've been in the podcast and broadcast world for a long time, so I absorb content, man. That's what I do. I just walk around with an earbud all time.
I love podcasts.
All the time. Me too. What is not that man, that Deuce on the River. It's such a classic brick.
Ooh, that's not good.
And Fearless Fish has got to think he's best here.
Go.
Got to think he's best here.
Oh,
you know,
dear God.
isn't T Money raising turn with all sorts of combo draws?
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
he-
the
yeah.
way he plays, you can't just... T-Money just opting for the bet he knows is going to get called. Hey, if you got to milk him, you got to milk him.
Yeah, and that's you can see how fast Fearless Fish called River.
Yeah.
Fearless Fish just thinks he's best there so often, and he is usually.
He's getting a prize.
Yeah, T Money gonna scoop himself a big pot. I'm pretty sure that's gonna put him into the chip lead. And cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Boom.
Salud. Astrovia. If that's how you
yeah,
say
I don't
it.
speak Arabic. Yeah, what is your origin? Like family of origin? Come from where?
I mean, just
Generations
just
ago.
a white mutt, man.
Really?
Yeah. 5 generations back. I actually had to figure this out because I started paying for my health insurance in New York State, and I said, I really hope I'm some ethnicity that gets help here. So I look back. Turns out I'm a 32nd Native American. So I said, sweet, let's see what we can do. You know.
So naturally, you're down with Elizabeth Warren because I think she's like 1/190th something or other as well.
1,024.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. So you guys, you put your ear to the ground. You can hear the Iron Horse coming, right? Do
I
a rain
wouldn't know.
dance.
I don't. I looked up my tribe. I can't say a word of their language, right? So yeah. Anyway.
Can you get in on some of that casino rev?
No.
Damn it.
No casinos in Kodiak, Alaska, unfortunately. But no, I was born in Kodiak, Alaska, 5 generations ago. My family came from Scotland and
Yeah, okay.
Ireland, and they were in Alaska. Not really sure why. And
Well, if I've learned anything about Alaska, it's that generally you are running from something. The law,
Yeah, it's like
child
Florida or
support
Alaska,
payments.
right?
Yeah, Florida or Alaska, exactly. Ace Queen suited going to take that one down without a whole lot of contest pre-flop there. Yeah, it's funny. You'll like this. I don't know if you've done one of those like 23andMe tests.
No.
But I'm sure you would find out exactly what you think. Get 24% this, 38% that, and
Yeah.
Irish, Scottish, et cetera, et cetera. I did one last year, and I am 99.5% Ashkenazi Jew. Over 99%.
that was an inclusive group, right? They kept it.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
amazing.
amazing.
My lady took one, and she was exactly like 28% this and that, Norwegian, Finnish, etc.
So the only one more Ashkenazi Jew than you is Ben Shapiro. That would be the one, right?
Yeah. He's like.
I think he's the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Like he's born with the yarmulke on. Yeah.
It was the whole thing.
Love
right?
me some Ben Shapiro. T Money here with a suited queen. Gonna open this up.
Yeah, T Money is gonna press now. That's his MO.
Absolutely.
Fearless Fish is right behind him.
Yeah, he loves that King 9 suited, even though it bit him in the butt just a couple moments ago. But Barry has woken up with the real hand here.
He's like, hey boys, here's the real hand.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, I'm here now. And SR.
Now, when you shove that quick, is it aces? Because some people like to milk it.
Interesting. Maybe Barry would have milked it, but you know what? I don't even think he minds a call here. So it's like, yeah, are his opponents going to read him as having something like really nutted? Yeah, probably not. But like, his thing is like, so what? Call me if you want.
Yeah.
You know, ace king.
Gamble.
Exactly, and you know, 5-handed ace king like might as well be aces. It's so strong.
I love T Money here. He's really thinking about it.
You know, he's got a lot of chips, but it would be a pretty big dent to his stack to call it off and lose here.
Well, yeah.
And there's not really a universe in which he's calling, right?
This has to be acting.
It's just
right?
acting.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's just funny when you can see the cards. Like,
He's like, dude, I have a straight flush draw. It feels bad to fold, man.
and you can take a good 5 Mississippi there and just muck. You're fine.
And we had some moments from our life stolen that we'll never get back. The tank.
I mean, it is a queen and an 8, to be fair.
You know, I mean, suited. And dude, this is America, man. Money grows on trees. Dude, now that we've legalized marijuana, money literally grows on trees.
This is true.
There you go.
This is true. It's so weird to me that it's legal now. Like, just all the times you're running with it when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And now you just see people puffing herb before they go to work.
In public. Yeah. I know, it's right. And you're like, at college parties, you were like in the back room with like 4
Like
other
it was
people.
lines, right?
Yeah, for real. It's so, you know, and it's funny, you know, I remember we used to joke back in the college days about like, maybe there's some crazy future world where like everyone out in the front of the party's smoking and there's a few people in the back drinking.
Yeah,
and then we're here.
I think that's called the Middle East. Yes. No, I've heard you can smoke hashish in a lot of parts of the Middle East, but they literally have guys with trench coats with alcohol, right? Like, yo, man, I
got the
that
good stuff,
whiskey.
man.
Yeah.
Yak Daniels. That's so funny. All right, we're at 5, and this is anybody's match.
Anybody's game.
Yeah, chip stacks are all pretty
One double up,
even.
you're right near the chip lead right there.
100%. Oh, what was the blinds? I missed that. Was it 30K?
It is 2550.
2550?
2040. Excuse us.
All right. Dream Seat Poker with the semi-spoiler. Oh, that's Dream Seat Poker is Mike.
Oh, hey.
So Mike is saying that there's some interesting action coming up. Something
right.
I've personally never seen before. I find that incredibly hard to believe. Mike has been playing cards for 20 plus years.
Oh,
has
my.
been around the block for drill, tournament, cash, all over the world. If he says he's never seen it before, what could it be?
That's you're a baseball guy, right?
I am.
The thing I love about baseball, if you keep watching, you will see something you've never seen
That
before.
is true.
And poker's just like it.
Yeah, you know, and just when you think you're like, what could even how could there be anything, and
Right.
somehow there is.
I love it.
So we're gonna have the poker equivalent of Randy Johnson nailing a bird with a fastball. Sorry, I'm
I
trying to
wasn't
smack.
ready. I wasn't
Sorry
ready.
about that.
It's all.
flies, man.
I thought you
Killing
were
me.
gonna punch me for a second. I was like, what'd I do?
Grab you by the collar. It's gonna be epic. All right, T Money flops. Wow, what a nutted flop. Mike does have a pair, but T Money is way out in front here with the flush draw and the top pair.
I'm so excited now.
I know. What could it
What
be?
could it be?
And Mike flung a card and hit a bird. I don't know. For those of you that have not seen that, I find it impossible to believe no one's seen that. But I'm sure everyone has seen it. If you haven't, Google Randy Johnson bird and prepare to have your mind blown. So, this is a check raise here by Team Money. And Mike, I'm pretty sure, has himself an easy fold. Not easy, but, you know, you never like to fold a pair. But what are we hoping for if we call? I don't know. He's thinking about it. I think he thinks Team Money has plenty of flush draws here and that a 7 is good. He's right about the flush draw.
Well, and
He does fold. Good fold.
he knows. Team Money came to play, so he can think about that for a second, but I do like the fold.
Yeah, and he bets when check to with his pair, makes total sense, and then he correctly reads his opponent as not only drawing and gets away when raised, makes all the sense in the world. How much was the buy-in, Rev Durden? This was a $500 buy-in tournament. It's a knockout event, $200 cash per knockout. We are 5-handed, playing for the title, over $7,000, and the trophy up top. Wow, that's he says, I've said what the WTF roughly 478 times in 5 minutes. Man, he must have really had his mind blown. I can't wait to see what could it be.
Yeah.
Wow. There it is. There's your payouts.
There's the money. I love these final tables when I'm on tour. Just the 8K up top, 12K, because you still lose at the final table, but it still means something.
Right. It's like just in that sweet spot. Yeah, I'm with you.
Everybody goes, let's deal. And I'm like, no, man, I want to play.
Yeah, no, exactly. Let's play for it. Yeah, like, listen, man, is $2,800 really moving the needle for you? I mean, it's not. I don't want to poo-poo it, but like,
Yeah, if it does, by all means, ask for a deal. But if you do have a job in a first world economy, most likely it does.
Let's play for the title.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's have fun, right? I hate it when people get mad. Like, why don't you want a deal? I showed up to play cards today. Why do you want a deal?
Yeah, well, exactly. 100%. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the, one of the many reasons that I'm just so in love with the Run It Up Reno series is that so many of the events are right in that spot where, you're playing for 8K, 10K, 7K up top. Your buy-ins are a couple $100, so like no one's devastated if we're busting, no one's giving up half their freaking house to the government with the money they just scored up if they win, so it's kind of a good mix. And yeah, you can just kind of like, let's play for it, man.
The most fun I ever had in a tournament, I busted the WSOP main event. I got right into a 235 at the Rio, and it was just a blast because it was a bunch of people from all over the world, and they were just goofing off because it was a $200 buy-in. I ended up winning it, so I ended up liking it more. But
humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag. But it was also awesome because when it's a couple $100, people let a lot of things go.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot more going on at the table. Whereas when the buy-in's $5,000, you think, I better put on my sunglasses today and manage my emotions. And that's really hard to track.
And I'm going to face another Justin Bonomo bet. Here we go.
Yeah. Time bank. Have my randomizer out. Now my timer randomizer.
Timex has ship turn. What do I do? Yeah. All these freaking wizards.
Yeah. Let's eyeball each other. I was going to say something I shouldn't say on a stream. I caught myself. Oh, it's all in for Fearless Fish.
Yes, it is. And Mike has a significantly worse ace.
It's going to happen.
To consider his action. Was there an overlay in the prize pool DNA? Yes, there was. Couple grand.
3K.
I believe. There you go. Hey, big value overlay. Doesn't happen often. We take advantage when it does. And Mike does get away from it. Good fold. Finds himself an ace. Finds himself a fold correctly. Fearless Fish going to scoop it. And Mike hanging on. I think he's got, let's see. There he is. 430. We're at 2040 for the blind. So Mike has himself 10 bigs. In the danger zone, but still alive. And this is still anybody's match for the taking.
I love this from the Brock 21. Fun fact for you, the batter that was at the plate when Randy Johnson hit that bird was Kyle Murray's uncle. Kyle Murray, of course, being the #1 pick in the NFL draft.
Oh, no kidding. That's so interesting. Good fact.
All 5'4" of them got drafted.
What?
5'10", I think. That's going to be an interesting experiment. They've been talking about height for a long time in the NFL. We're going to see if that's true.
He is going to look like a midget.
I know, he's going to look so weird. Right?
As like the American average.
Behind a 6'5" lineman.
Yeah.
Come on, boys.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're rallying the troops. It's like Napoleon.
Right,
like
exactly.
4 feet tall.
You could do the Tim Tebow and go back to baseball if it doesn't work out. Yeah, I mean, or go back to baseball, go to baseball. Oh, I guess for him would be go back. But yeah.
Raise Fear from T-Money. A lot of ace-queens out there. Suited ace for SR, and it's a garbage ace, but man, does it look good when it's suited. And he doesn't want to go anywhere. He's going to call.
Let's see.
So we're seeing a flop. SR is going to need a lot of help here. And he does not find it. In fact, T-Money hits his kicker, and he has the board locked. SR drawing to 6-6. So he open checks, and T-Money checks back. Interesting.
Very interesting.
On the turn, T-Money gets the check
Straight
mark.
draws, flush draws out there, and he checks
Yeah.
back. So he's pot controlling,
Yes.
hoping maybe he'll get a bet on the turn. I guess with that stack size, he knows not going to see a lot of turn and river bluffs. So he maybe just fishing for that turn lead. Doesn't get it.
Yeah, he does not. SR just gets away from it. Kaneshin? Thanks for the follow, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you're having fun. This Saturday night Stones Live broadcast, some tournament action. Alex Fitzgerald,
Hey, everybody.
the poker author, tournament cash crusher, longtime wisdom giver extraordinaire, making his inaugural appearance here at Stones. And we're happy to have you, brother.
I'm happy to be here. Wouldn't call myself a cash crusher. Never got above 2-4 for the record.
Really?
just nut pedaled and found soft networks, and every time I got up to 10-20, got my face punched in.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
It's like, but I'm randomizing, right? Damn it.
You know, it's funny. I have my old poker, who's been like my longest time friend in poker. His name's
Yeah.
Ryan. He, he's like a game designer by trade, and he's very much
far
like
out.
gamer guy, and which is really common, of course, in the poker world. And so, he always wants to like beat the next level. Whenever
Yeah.
I beat the boss, now let's beat the next level. And so, consequently, he would basically go until he failed. So he would beat 3-5 forever, beat 5-10 forever, and then like get to 10-20 and get his face punched in.
He played a 2-year tournament with himself, if you think about it. Just
Yes.
kept moving up in the room till he went broke,
That
right?
is exactly right. Which they talk about that in the workplace too. Like you like get
Oh, what's
promoted
that
until you
called?
fail. There's
Yeah.
a name for it.
Yeah,
And
there's
I'm
a word.
blanking on
Oh
it.
my God,
Chat.
it's gonna
You
drive
guys
me
know what
crazy.
that is? Like you get promoted until you fail. I'm
Wixie,
blanking.
man, God love you. Appreciate it.
Oh, look at this! Whoa, SR has.
Oh.
Look at this. SR pulling off the old limp re-raise. He just calls T-Money raises with King 10, and then SR ships it with 9 high. And it's going to work.
Gangsta.
And that's...
Don't show. Okay.
he-
I mean, they're all
so
gonna know
proud of
eventually,
themselves.
but give
Yeah,
me
but
some.
people are proud of themselves. They want to show.
No, I love that. No hint he would pull that off.
Wow.
Woo!
And, yeah,
And I
SR,
mean, he's got the image to make that look like a real big hand.
he does indeed. We're 5-handed. SR is mixing it up. I like the gear shift. I mean, how is a limp re-raise 9 high?
I know. This is a fun final table. I'm really happy to be here. This has been really fun.
The Dilbert principle. You
The
guys are funny.
Dilbert principle.
No, there's it's something very literal.
I know. What is it?
Up, fail,
It's
upward,
like
or-
your point of max
Is it the Peter
incompetence
principle?
or something.
Thank you, Wixie man, for the compliment, dude. We appreciate it a lot. But in any case, yeah, like that's he did what you're describing a cash, which is like level up until you get your face punched in.
Which is fine if you have money from another source. You understand that your poker bankroll is always up. But if you're trying to make money from this game, obviously that's not going to do it. But now, to be fair to him, if you're trying to learn as much as possible about poker, you're going to have to play with people who are better than you at some point.
Right.
Now, if you're a nut peddler, such as myself, and you just like money,
Yeah, right.
you shouldn't do that.
Which right, and that was kind of always my thing, which is like I'm consistently beating 3-5 no limit, and so therefore I shall play 3-5 no limit.
Exactly, and you're making $50 an hour, and it's how many people are making $50 an hour, right?
Yeah, right,
That's
that didn't
good money.
spend 4
You have to
years
be
in
a
medical school.
machinist, or you got to be a really good contractor to do that, right?
yep.
And instead,
A
you're
plastic surgeon.
Gonna, yeah, exactly. You're gonna sit in an air-conditioned room all day. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a bad life.
No, it isn't. It
Yeah,
not And
yeah.
I always sort of enjoyed that I wasn't wired that way. I didn't have the gamer
Right.
wiring. I didn't feel the need to beat the next level.
Well, and that's the attraction of tournaments. You buy in to a $200 tournament. Let's say online, where you get these thousands of players. At the beginning, you're playing effectively 1-2, but at the end, you're practically playing 200, 400 at those major final tables. Peter principle.
100%. Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah, the Peter principle, dice pops. You rise to your level of incompetence.
Yes,
that's what it is.
That's what we were fishing for.
Which is the Peter principle. You guys are both right. Thank you very much for paying that one off.
Matthew says Kyler Murray is the 21st century Doug Flutie. Talking about fun YouTube videos, guys. I think Doug Flutie did a drop kick extra point on his last play ever for the Patriots.
Are you
and
serious?
It's the only time you ever see Bill Belichick smile.
Oh,
they
no
call
kidding.
the play and they have this look like, I can't believe we're doing this crap. And
Wow.
and he kicks it in. I don't know if it was his last play ever, but it's one of those ancient rules that comes from when it used to be more rugby oriented,
Right.
And Doug Flutie just nails it.
That's
right?
so funny.
It's like the greatest
What a
YouTube
move.
clip. It puts you in such a good mood.
And Bill Belichick's programmer coded him to smile on that play? Wow.
Hey, we can allow it this
Yeah,
once.
yeah, we'll allow it. Like, where's the smile button? I've never pressed it.
Sir, he's got to do it at some point. Otherwise, they're going to figure out we're doing this.
Okay,
So,
hit the smile button then.
This one's
just the one time.
ridiculous. Raise SR, time to play some ball. Picks up the blind.
Boom.
SR moving himself up to third, and nobody's really the wiser how he did it.
Yeah, they
This
have
is
found out
fun.
now. You know, it is
Yeah,
since
that-
it is there. It is on TVs
They
here
know
in
at
the
this
card room.
point.
They have seen it at this point, so it is now official. SR is capable of a lot of nonsense, or at least some.
God, this is fun. I'm really happy to be here. I know that has nothing to do with anything, but I'm just going to say
Oh
that.
no, dude! We're happy to have you. And
This
you know,
is so
we
fun.
broadcast a lot here on Stones Live. If you have not, I should have. I'm remiss. Hit the follow, like, heart, subscribe buttons. We are free, funky, and fresh for you to channel train for a moment here on Stones Live. We're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We're in the middle of, we're actually at the very beginning of 11 straight days. Our regular schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, but for the Spring Classic, the Stones Spring Classic, we are on 11 straight days. Chris Moneymaker is going to be in here. Alex Fitzgerald is here now and will be here as the week goes on. Vanessa Cade arrives tomorrow, and Jeff Boski will be here. And then, of course, Poker Mama, myself, Chris Glasgow, the normal Stones Live team, and we're going to bring you all sorts of tournament action for the Stones Spring Classic. But this is a great channel, man. You know, we do a lot of cash games on this stream, and they're awfully fun
look
to
at
call. And
this.
oh my
Look at
God, are
this.
you serious?
And this is a great channel because we got action like this.
No kidding. The Case 2 Kings on the flop, and what a
Oh,
freaking cooler
dear
for SR.
Lord.
That is just so unfortunate. What can
Well,
you
this could
do?
end in a chop sometimes, but it's looking bad.
It is definitely, but yeah, there is some opportunities here.
Did you read the comment?
I'm
I just
reading
read?
it right now. Yes, yes. And both players are going to not want to scare off because how can their opponent
I
have
know.
anything?
These hands are so funny to watch when you know the cards because sometimes it turns into a slow play fest.
Right.
And then just on the river, everything goes insane.
Right, yeah, right, totally.
And they kind of have that look like, what the hell's going on?
What is happening
at
here?
the
How
river?
can you have anything? I have all the good
How can you
cards.
have what I have? I don't get. Oh.
Yeah, right. Oh, there's another king. Oh, yeah. So Barry has checked, presumably to raise or maybe just call. He actually just calls. They both missed the turn, but they both still love their hand. And so Barry, I'm guessing, is going to open check again, or is he going to actually lead here? He check calls flop, and now he... checks again, and SR, no chance he's checking behind. He's going to cut out
Oh, man.
a healthy bet. There's 480 in the pot.
SR, I was loving watching you, man. This is. You were showing me something.
He bets a 2/3 pot and then
Oh,
a
boy.
snap ship
Oh,
by Barry, and SR of course calls it off, and they're going to see what's happening in this hand. And SR is going to need to find himself a 4 for the win, or a 3 or a 10 for a chop. Those are his outs. Oh no, well he's got some high cards as well.
High cards,
yeah.
yes. But it's certainly not a spot you want to be in.
Nope, it's not a great one. And how are we in this bad a shape with freaking top set? But we are.
With such short stacks.
And that means the 9 is good. It plays. SR says GG, and Barry is going to bust him, and we're down to 4. That is just a sick cooler.
Good game, sir. You played it. You played hard.
Yeah. SR did everything he could to stack up and, make a run at the title, and ultimately he just gets coolered, and there's nothing you can do here. Sometimes the deck just says, you lose. And the dealer's just making sure that Barry has SR covered, which according to the graphics, he does. Not a set. Sorry, guys. Sorry. You're absolutely right. Top trips. Did I say top set? My B. We're still waiting on. What do you mean check again on the GG? King 10
No,
9 8?
he's saying he has some chips left. Is what he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So the graphics are wrong. SR actually is still alive. Gotcha. Okay,
we
thanks,
go.
Mike.
Time to grab that $200 if you can go after it.
Wow. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, we're on life support here, and everyone is going to be gunning for that bounty. Does he literally have like one chip? That's crazy.
He's got a couple.
30K. He has 30K behind. Wow. So he has less than a big blind.
You
Wow.
always have a shot.
Hey, as
You
Joe Stapleton
always-
says, chip in a chair.
It's never over till it's over.
That's right. I don't see no fat ladies anywhere. And he's just auto all in here in the small blind. And here we go. Some insanity. This is an insanity stack event and some insanity coming up momentarily. Spoilers courtesy of Mike Postle. That's Mike Postle in seat 1. And SR actually has a pretty good hand here to be all in with. Ace-6 suited. And who's going to try to go for that bounty? In the cutoff with King High, Fearless Fish wouldn't surprise me to see him go for it.
That would be Fearless Fish's MO.
Yep, and he actually just limps. Barry has a better king on the button.
If you're a big stack here, do you want to keep him alive? Just raise, isolate.
Is that what
So-
we're doing here on the King 10 on the button?
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, if you got a big stack, don't you want to push around all the other equal stacks while there's one guy short?
Wow, Big T Money checks Ace Queen out of the big blind. I'm shocked to see him do that.
You know, and I'm not
Really?
shocked by anything.
You're like, I'm no dead
gentleman
inside. I
does.
don't know, man.
No, I'm saying T Money is definitely a different player.
Yeah,
He marches
you're
to the
absolutely
beat
right.
of his own drum.
He does indeed, and his drum has checked itself into oblivion on this flop. Fearless Fish and
Oh
Barry
my
both make the top pair. And Fearless Fish value betting. And what is Barry going to do here on the button with top and a pretty good kicker? He under-repped his hand, by just calling pre. Would not surprise me to see a raise here.
Getting a lot of value versus Fearless Fish with his opening range.
But with a raise?
Yeah, with a raise.
Yeah.
That's I'll be honest with you, I didn't think of it right away. And then as you were talking about it, I was thinking but that's a
Hefty
big,
raise.
That's a big raise.
You know what? This is like a everybody please fold. I know I have the best hand.
I am done.
I don't want to get you. Yeah, I'm done making decisions in this hand.
Cash out.
And let's just try and bust SR and get that bounty. But it's but T Money with the backdoor diamonds, and that's another way of saying nothing. Is thinking that he wants to continue facing a bet and a raise. Really?
I got.
Wow, he does. Is that a cold call? It is. He cold calls. Wow, it's crazy. Okay. Ants the producer. Thanks for the follow, dude. You're just in time to see this insane hand in this Insanity Stack event. And what in the world is going to happen on the turn here? SR is hunting for a 6 or an ace to stay alive. C Money is hunting for, I don't know what, an ace, I guess? And that is a brick. That hits nobody. Barry still way out in front here. T Money left with just ace high in a bloated pot. It goes check around. Another brick on the turn. The front door flush gets there. Some straight draws get there. But, I mean, everyone has played this so weird. Nobody knows where anybody's at. Barry has this one if he can show his cards down. But T Money looks like he wants to rep that he has the nut flush here, which... I mean, he's got an irrelevant blocker, but how in the world, as played, can he have the nut flush?
And then you got to show everybody.
Right. Yes, you're going to show.
So good luck getting credit on anything for the rest
Right.
of the
That
final
is
table.
Yes, and he doesn't even beat SR. SR is going to roll the winner here.
Right.
And it
Oh, my-
works. He gets Barry
All right.
to fold.
Now let's see what Barry does.
God dang it. You can see how, dang it all. How do you show up with just an ace? Look at how annoyed he is. He has to get up and take a walk here.
Look at it. Look at Mike.
And SR is actually going to quadruple.
Look at that man's face.
Up.
Look at that man's face.
That is a man who has just opened a Christmas morning present. He's 9 years old. He's drinking hot cocoa and he's opening presents. And that is a gift. Man, I'm telling you, that's a quadruple.
That's
up.
the hand of God. You just kept that man alive. Now, you better be pressing T-Money on Barry, Fearless Fish, and Mike P. Otherwise, that makes no damn sense. All right?
You out of your damn mind. And we're about to have a wrap-off here, and it's going to be about the insanity of that play with Ace-Queen. Whoa.
Postal is mad.
How many times did he float with Ace-High practically drawing dead? Is an excellent question, Mike. I think the answer is 4. In the time we've been watching tonight, he loves that Ace-High.
Yep.
I mean, the other circumstances were a little less egregious. I don't want to overstate the case, but heads up, facing a bet. That was facing a bet and a raise.
That blew my mind. No, I'm not even gonna try. I was gonna.
And we're done.
I was gonna try. I mean, obviously with the backdoor flush draw, the blocker, there is something there, but to justify it is just, you really are out there. That is.
And like you said, he has to show his hand down.
Right.
So
but now if nobody's going to do anything about it, and you got the chip lead here, and you knew maybe he picked up on what we're watching. Hey, he wants this pot over right now. I'm representing. I have a blocker to what he must be afraid of. Maybe I can do something with this, right?
Well, which would make sense, except for now we've kept this player alive.
Except for that's fine if you're going to press on everybody, and if you think tabling your hand is not going to do anything, but there is also a turn card to play.
Right, yeah.
You're just
more cards coming.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, that's true. All right, GSR is going to try to double again. He's all in, and he flops 3 jacks. Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Everyone's dead. GSR is going to all of a sudden go from, what did he have, 30K? He had less than a big blind?
He had pocket
Wow.
left.
Top boat any good? God dang. That is sick.
I have 3 of this kind and 2 of that kind.
Is that good? That seems good. And he was in terrible shape against
Look at that
Fearless
smile.
Fish. But he finds himself the freaking top boat. And that is a 360K pot over to SR, who has gone from less than 30K to over 350K in about 11 seconds. And yeah, Feliz Navidad indeed, man. What a gift. Wow. And that is, that is why, we were talking a little earlier in the stream about the strategy of, which is obviously well worn, and it's like Big Sick Tournament 101, multi-way with a player all in. We're like, if nobody has anything like ace highs and nonsense, we're checking, we're trying to eliminate. Mm-hmm. That was not followed there, and now we're paying the price that he's right back in it.
Yes. And, well, there is an argument to be made that if you're trying to win this, perhaps you could negate that. But standard tournament procedure would be, let's all move up a spot if none of us have really anything. And there's a great argument for that as well. So but yes, my mind is blown watching this. Has he stopped smiling, SR?
He's like giddy. I don't blame him. What a turn of events.
Look at all those chips and all those chips feel like solid gold
Yeah,
plates.
that's right. At that point, we're free rolling life at this point.
It's one of the best things that can happen to you in a tournament is you're down to 1 chip and you rebuild because you feel like, who cares? And that is how you should play all the time, right? It's just, let's pretend I'm out of this tournament, but you can realize that when you were nearly out of it.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing like that near-death experience to make you appreciate your life,
Yes, taking it to that, definitely.
Yeah. Well, near-death, and now he's still alive in this tournament, and now he's open shipping here with the ace-4, and it's going to work. He's going to find himself another pot, and he's back up over 400K.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my Lord, you're back in this.
Icy Tab, he flopped trips, not a set. It's not just semantics. It's actually a very distinct and important difference. Did I say that again? Did I say it's a set? You're absolutely right, man. If I said that, I gotta stop that. He flopped top trips. My bad.
Reading is hard. They gotta be nicer to you. Reading's tough. Reading Rainbow isn't around anymore.
How am I supposed to keep sharp on my reading? And but I want to be. Sometimes people are trolling, but that's totally legitimate.
Right,
criticism.
it's legitimate, but you're doing a great job.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, I didn't say. Oh, did somebody say it in the chat?
Oh, okay.
Oh, it wasn't even me? Oh, okay, well then I take it
That's
all back.
okay.
Yeah, we've gone over this before. Like, set is when you have a pocket pair, a buried pair, and you make a third one on the board. That's a set. When you have 1 in the hole and 2 on the board, that's just your good old-fashioned trips. We've seen ace-6 of clubs a lot tonight. That's like, this is, I think, the 4th time we've seen ace-6 of clubs. Interesting. It does... No, my God. Barry flops the nuts. Oh, no, he doesn't. No. What am I saying?
He's got a hand, though.
Yes,
he's got something.
It's T-Money who turns himself the straight here.
That's a good hand.
It is. Look at Fearless Fish, though, with 6s in the nut flush draw. He loves this board right now.
Oh, boy.
Just a call from T-Money facing Barry's bet. And now facing bet call, Fearless Fish is going to do what? Overcall. And that red 10 is a brick. T-Money's straight is good. And he is last to act in the cutoff. So this is a great spot, holding the straight. Both of his opponents check to him. And he's going for value. 300K into 800K, 1/3 pot-ish. Straight value, going to try to get called by, 2-pair, ace-7, etc.
Oh, boy.
And yeah, Fearless Fish looks like he wants to oblige him here. Or is he going to bluff raise here?
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Turning the 6 into a bluff. Or at least can say, yeah, he's going to turn it into a bluff.
Usually
it's just a call.
Usually when they slam the chips in, it's not a bluff.
You're absolutely right. That's just a call. He thinks 6s might be good here.
That means... Whew.
It is not good.
It's just a lot of times... When a guy bets 1/3 pot, you got to ask yourself, how many times in my life have I missed the river and gone, quick, bet 1/3 pot as a bluff? You always got to wonder that, right? Yeah. Because, there are times it is a bluff, but you got to ask yourself, is he the guy who's going to be that subtle? Is he going to do the post-oak bluff? Is he going to do the value bet bluff? And if you want to gamble against that, it is just fine to fold there. It's okay.
You're right, and perhaps the most important part of your point is the quickness. His snap bet. His opponents checked him, and he snap bets 1/3 pot. Is that a bluff?
It could be. It could be.
Maybe a considerate. Like I need to try to bluff here, but I don't want to risk too much. 1/3 pot.
I do find when people are bluffing at lower stakes tournaments, mid stakes tournaments, it's almost like jumping off of a cliff into a river. You kind of get your nerve up and jump. So sometimes a quicker bet can be a bluff. But oftentimes, just like you're saying, it's somebody who didn't need to think that much, which usually isn't a bluff, right? So it can run both ways. You have to kind of clock the guy you're dealing with.
Of course. And I would think, like, if you're going to see a snap bluff like that, it's going to be a shove.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Usually people amp it up, the sizing. And what's going on here? We are all in. Fearless Fish, who was the chip leader, right?
He was
at the beginning of this tournament.
Yep, he's gonna a little bit of healing here.
That's the other thing, man. That's a lot of your chips to be calling off in the context of this tournament. You got to give that one a good think. Not saying there's not logic to it, but you got to really think that one through, because when you go home at night, if this doesn't work out as well as you hoped, you're going to look back at that hand and go. If you crossed your T's and dotted your I's before you made that call, God love you, go with it, right? But you got to make sure you really thought about it.
It's so true. And it is, remembering to cross your T's and dot your I's is tough. Reading Rainbow is off the air. I don't know how we remember these phonetic things without that resource, but you're absolutely right. Like, it's if you walk away with anything but the title, you're going to sort of find yourself in that position. Where did it go wrong?
Sir.
What could I have done differently? But yeah, he would. That's a moment he would look back to.
And to be fair to these guys, what time did they start playing? Nobody remembers how tiring it can be. If you take a standardized test for 10 hours, you're pretty warped at the end of the day. So it is tougher at times to think the way you would at the beginning of the day. We have a big all-in pot right here.
Yep. It's Mike on the short stack who's all in with a suited ace, but unfortunately for Apostle, his opponent has a better suited ace, and Mike's going to be hunting for 6 or a bunch of hearts. There is a 1752 for 5th and 2482 for 5th. So we're looking at approaching $1,000 pay jump here. And that is no good. Mike is going to be hunting for a 6 or a heart on the turn to stay alive. Keep the Apostle Dream alive. And the ace is not going to do it. He's still going to need himself a 6. Some chopportunities as well if he can find another board pair, but no can do. Mike's top pair is no good. His opponent's got a better one, and that's it. Mike's out.
There's nothing worse than when you're looking for the chop and it's a damn deuce. You know what I mean?
know.
It's like get near it, so I have to look at it for a second, right? Like, don't give me the 2.
You know, I'm not a stats guy, but I'm pretty sure deuces hit the river with like
With
above average
impunity.
regularity.
Right.
You know, like whenever I'm like open-ended flush draw, deuce.
It sticks out in your mind. It's a prized memory. There's actually, that's the stuff I study a lot of when it comes to poker, is just neuroscience, neuroeconomics. And it's, to what you're saying, when a deuce comes out there, it sticks in our mind in a way that's very different than when it's a 7.
Oh,
or something,
absolutely.
right?
What's that classic like, oh, my favorite number is 37. I see 37 everywhere I look.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, of course you do.
What is that, the Bieder-Meinhof or phenomenon or
Oh,
whatever it is?
I don't know the name of that
There
one.
is a word for it. I can't remember. And I'm sure I'm butchering how it's pronounced. But asking me to pronounce one German name is pretty difficult.
I think that's how
so
you say God bless you in German.
Yeah, they're just making things up. Like, tell this kid we came up with some study. What should we call it? What's your 2 names? But all in with a 6 and a 5. Because he's... All right.
Hey, this is all a free roll. I mean, look at this pay jump SR got.
Yeah.
SR got himself an extra like $900 just by having his opponent keep him alive. It's a total gift. And as Mike here is saying in the Twitch chat, I've never had 4th locked up before and then had to finish 1 spot lower. Facepalm, and it's true. Mike did have 4th locked up, but for T-Money and his bizarre play with that ace queen. And SR has got himself 2482 locked up. These guys all do. The next pay jump is going to be to 3,500 and change, so about $1,000 pay jump up to spot number 3. We are playing for over $7,000 up top, and $200 per knockout these players got in cash. I'm guessing all of these guys have at least a couple in their pocket.
Now here's where things get fun. 4-handed play. This is where the gloves come off. T-Money's on his phone, though.
He's
Way to rev that up.
He's quickly Googling Alex Fitzgerald's 4-handed poker strategy.
Yeah, right. Keep raising.
Gas pedal,
Attaboy,
baby.
he did it. And somebody said thanks for the... somebody in the chat said thanks for the content. Thank you very much. I guess I should say your name if I can find it.
You know, I had a plan, actually. I was, if there was going to be some downtime, I wasn't really sure how the breaks were going to work on the stream. I was going to spend some time reading the occasional bad reviews of your books because it's great content. No, it's so good. It's unbelievably entertaining to read the troll comments.
You can't be my GTO, bruv. Ricky Slade, thank you for the kind words. No, it's I respect people's opinion. You know, it's...
I respect their opinion as long as they're not stupid.
Well, it's one of those things. I'm sure. How could you put it? I'm sure War and Peace has bad reviews.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
totally.
saying?
Yeah,
It's one of those.
Crime and Punishment is a crap hack work.
The funniest thing is reading The Catcher in the Rye's bad reviews, right? Because
Oh,
it's just
no
so
kidding.
from people who don't get it. It's like, does anything happen in this book, right?
Also, check out my reviews about Old Man and the Sea, another book where nothing happens. Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, you can often sense that the people that give, like, you know, it's like 5-star, 5-star, 4-star, 5-star, 5-star, and like thoughtful reviews from people who clearly have read it, imbibed, you know, put it to use. And then it's like 1-star. This guy's a jerk! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Number 1! Exclamation mark! You're like, all right, did you read the book, bro, or are we trolling? Or
the funniest thing is to look at their other reviews and see what their
Yeah.
normal score is, and you will find people like giving 1 stars to candy and stuff on Amazon. You're like, bruh,
Snickers is gross.
bruh, like, How could candy be wrong? If you are the type of person to order candy on Amazon, it's got to be good,
All
right?
the Twix bars showed up smashed. 1 star.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. That's always what I do if somebody really gets me. I look up their other reviews and I go, actually,
Yeah.
for this guy, this is a high review. I'm
Totally.
doing fine, right? And sometimes they do say legitimate things that you got to write down and go, okay, don't do that next time. Sometimes
Oh, yeah, and I love, see, the thing, I have a couple business, like I mentioned, craft beer bars, and, Yelp reviews are often like that, which the overwhelming majority are people that love your spot, and then there are the occasional ones that are, they're just like, this says more about you, reviewer person, than it does about whatever you think you experience. But there are occasional, thoughtful, bad reviews, and those are great. They're really valuable.
those are gold. Those mean a lot of money. And if you respond to that person in kind, you often earn a customer for life.
Yes.
If you, the very thoughtful, bad review.
100%. And there's some of our best, changes we've made over the years have been as a result of the occasional times that's happened. But unfortunately, they're outnumbered by the times the bad reviewers are just like, the bartender gave me the stink eye and called me fat. And like, really,
No
man?
one did that.
I'm pretty sure that
No
didn't
one
happen.
did
Like,
that.
I know that's what you experienced.
Right.
But I don't,
Well, it's one of those things. How many times in your life have you heard someone call another person fat? Now, how many times have you heard someone report to you that they were called fat?
the answer to the first question is like 3, and the answer to the second question is 147
yeah, exactly.
million.
And the 3 times you heard it, you were young, right? Like,
Yes, playground.
Look, I have been very fat before. I didn't hear it that often, right?
Really? Were you really big at one point?
3 years ago, I was 60 pounds heavier than
No
I am now.
kidding.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Wow.
I had that triple chin, you know?
No kidding.
Yeah,
Was it just
and
from too much time sitting at a card table?
I was just sitting and I was, it was one of those weird things where you're eating a little more and you just don't pay attention to it. And, life gets out of hand and you're not paying attention for a little while. And 9 months later, you go, where'd these 40 pounds come
Yeah,
from?
I
right?
can't see my thing when I look down. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and it took 2 years to come back from that.
Yeah,
right?
I
And
know. It's interesting.
and
The
it's
same
like-
thing happened to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, because
Oh.
I'm guessing your metabolism was somewhat, and then you're 21, you can kind of eat
And
whatever
it
you
just
want.
craps out. Yeah.
And then all this, but it takes you some time before your perception in the mirror, and you're like, oh, holy crap, like what's happened?
Right,
And then you have to change your habits.
you can kid yourself, right? And then, and to be honest, if you're in a relationship, and
you can
you're
get,
not
it can get away
thinking
from
about-
you.
You're not thinking about it
Right.
as much as when you're in a singles bar every
Yes,
night, right?
Precisely. And here we go, classic Hold'em situation. 6s, AK suited, fireworks ensuing. I would imagine Barry is finding a 3-bet here basically all the time.
Ryan Smith, that is funny.
You can't see your thing, then reach to confirm. Yeah,
I don't
make
know what
sure
I
it's
can-
there. Yeah, we just don't cuss, otherwise have fun.
I don't know what I can read out. I'm pretending to be a politician. There's certain words you can get away with as a politician when they want to show you they're serious about something. They say, damn. See, what are we doing here?
That's what we're trying to figure out. The graphics are catching up. If that looks like a 3-bet from Barry, we can't quite see to what yet. Oh my gosh, no, we're wrong. It's a call. Wow, I
did not see that.
just shocked to see Barry just call there.
Sometimes four-handed big stacks, people don't like playing out of position. They call.
But now what's he going to do?
Exactly.
You know?
Well, and this is not a good. The other thing is, I really like that.
He makes that play from earlier where he just calls and then open rips it.
What are the blinds right now?
This is crazy. Is T-Money going to call here?
Barry,
He might.
Barry, you were taking your time. What are you doing right now?
He's trying to give his chips to T-Money, who has the best hand and the best draw.
Well, T-Money's got a lot to think of right now. T-Money should try to get Barry talking. T-Money has to. You lose nothing by trying to talk to the guy right now. Worst thing that happens is he's quiet.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You're looking for every scrap of information you can. If you're in a card room where you can talk to the guy, talk to the guy.
Okay, so does T now and unfortunately, T-Money is not doing that. There, he looks like he's just quiet, trying to figure it out. Now, T-Money has to try to figure out if Barry would ever do this with like 2 10s. Would
Yes.
Barry just call pre from the big blind when T-Money opens from the button with 2-10s? I don't see it, man. Although, god dang, if you can do that
Right.
with ace-king suited, maybe he can.
Well-
And then he would just open, rip an underboard.
Yes. Well, sometimes you'll see tighter players go, look, I like 9s, I like 10s. Oh my God, he
Wow,
got
it
it through.
works.
He got it through. And you can't really blame Team Money there because you haven't seen Barry table a hand of that nature like that. So
Yeah, and it's just such a spazzy play. He has no idea where he's at, and
I mean, he's stacking chips right now. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's insane until it works, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't like it. I didn't like how it was done. But to be fair to the man, he called instead of getting into a big coin flip, and he just ripped the guy off the pot. I think he bet a little too much on the flop. I didn't see the sizings. I think it was all of it.
6x pot
I
is
think-
suddenly too big.
I told myself before I got here I was going to try to be kind to different players, and I'm trying my best here. That one did shock me. I would show T-Money to get him tilted. Cliff's note says,
Well, but what are we hoping changes about T-Money's behavior? He's already been playing pretty erratically. You know, I'm not sure what
Let's
would
get him
Tilt
more
do?
erratic.
Yeah. Mike's like, if T-Money had ace queen instead of 6s, he might have called it off there. Yeah, I mean, based on how we've seen him float flops thus far with ace high when he's whiffed, man, yeah, he doesn't know what to do with a pair and a straight draw.
that's why you got a lot. That's why you have to watch a lot of tournament poker, because if you stay in your own world and you think everybody thinks about poker the way you think of, how in the world are you going to know he's ripping it there with that hand? That's something else.
Right, because, okay, yeah, he has random overcards, and like, hey, he can never have ace king suited because he would 3-bet me with that hand.
Yeah, it's a stop and go, right? And it's just not from someone you would expect.
Yeah.
For the sizings you would expect, but he did just manufacture a fold in what would have been a coin flip situation where the
absolutely right.
flop would have missed him.
That's true.
Yeah.
It worked for him that
And
time.
added equity, added outs to that person's hand.
Yeah, right.
It's-
Your opponent improved
Mm-hmm.
and folded.
And with his image, like, if you might be getting folds with second pair on a lot. I mean, you got to fold with third pair. Maybe you're
Right.
getting folds with second pair. These are the things I think of all day, and then I try to run equity calcs and stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that looks crazy at first blush that you work the numbers on. It's not as crazy as you'd expect, right? It's still, in my mind, I'm sure if you run the numbers on that one, it's pretty nuts. But certainly a 3-bet would get you more value most of the time there.
Yes, right. And Fearless Fish flops top and bottom, and he blows SR off of the ace high on the flop.
Not a whole lot you can do there.
Yep, your opponent just is going to check fold to you. I mean, I wouldn't be checking back with that hand either. Not with 2 to Broadway out there.
That's the funny thing. After you play poker for a long time, you flop top and bottom, and you go, well, what is he going to have now? So you almost expect it to go bet fold.
You guys are watching Stones Live. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Saturday night in the middle, right at the beginning of our Spring Classic. This is the Insanity Stack Knockout Tournament. We are down to 4. Over 7,000 up top. These guys are playing for. They all have $2,500 or so locked up, plus whatever bounties they won. And this is anybody's match.
And I'm really excited to see what Barry's going to do at this point, because I'm just not expecting it.
Yeah, this has been a very far from GTO bot final table.
Yes,
These guys
sir.
have been playing erratically and unconventionally, to understate the case considerably.
That's what I love about poker. You just never know what to expect. Like, you're never going to go to a minor league ballpark and see a 59-mile-an-hour pitch sidearm, right? But you come here and it's like, how are you going to deal with that, dude,
Totally.
if you're at that table?
Well, no. What if like a 10-year-old with a broken arm finds himself in major leagues, and then but he heals, and then has to fire a 59-mile. Actually, if it was a regular throw, it was probably like 39 miles an hour. And then just have the big slugger just swing right over the top of it.
Just let it float.
You know, it's funny. Like there are some movies from your childhood that actually hold up pretty nicely.
I know.
That's not one of them.
It isn't. I
No,
haven't seen.
don't rewatch it.
Didn't they do like 2 of those movies? Little Big League didn't go for the gold. It was like he's gonna be a manager. He's gonna do the
Okay,
analytics, and you're
right.
like, all right, fine.
Sure,
the
sure.
Twins could use a 10-year-old
Right.
analytics guy, and then no, for the Cubs, we're about to
Starting
get this.
pitcher.
Yeah.
So good.
What was this walkout song? I can't even remember.
Oh, I don't remember either. I do remember trying to, like, you know, me and a couple buddies, like, you know, years ago, like, oh, we'll get stoned and get popcorn and we'll watch Rookie
It's
of
the
the Year.
worst idea in
Terrible
the world.
mistake.
It's so you cannot revisit movies
No,
from your childhood.
right.
The worst thing to do is revisit video games from your childhood
my
because
God,
it's just
GoldenEye.
atrocious. It's atrocious now.
so
It's
bad.
like I can see every polygon and
Yeah.
name them and give them numbers. Right?
Yeah.
Actually, the 2D stuff holds up, but the early 3D stuff looks like fried dog turds.
I know. It's
Oh
ruined
my
it.
lord!
Here we go. We're all in pre.
SR needs one of 3 outs here.
Yeah, Team Money's got him in bad shape. And he finally is set to bust here, one pay jump later
I
than
believe
anybody
in SR.
expected. And
Oh!
he won the queen.
I told you,
Wow.
I believe.
Unreal.
Sometimes it happens. Look at that smile. Look at him.
And
when you're
SR
smiling, you can't lose.
SR's just walking on water here. He needs
Oh
to
my
fade
lord.
just
3
an
outs.
ace. It seems impossible.
3 cards out of, wow.
That's good. SR's gonna double again. Unbelievable.
That's incredible.
He had less than a big blind, and now he finds himself with $1 million in chips. And look at him. He's like, he can see this is just a life free roll for him. You know.
Yeah, he's
This
going
is his
for it.
9th life. He's not.
If he busts now, he's high-fiving everybody out the tournament. That's how you should always approach it. I was going to say 3 cards out of 46 cards unseen, but there were a lot of seen cards there, and I can't do math that high. But way to fade them.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. This is just such a gift for SR to have completely out of your control 45 minutes ago and have people at the table make inexplicable moves to keep you alive. And now here we are with $1 million in chips, still in the hunt, well in the hunt for 7K plus up top. And SR is the bounty that refuses to be won. Martin Salfrank, thanks for the YouTube subscribe, dude. We appreciate it very much. Welcome to the Stones fam. Myself, Scott, a.k.a. the Hop Grenade, and special guest Alex Fitzgerald to my right.
Happy to be here.
Trying to find ourselves a winner. Man, and at this pace, we're going to be here all night.
Are there breaks ever for me to run to the John? Like, what
Oh,
do I do?
yeah, go ahead.
Just
I
go
can
ahead.
handle the show while
Well,
you go,
it's
for sure.
I mean, I don't want to leave you hanging, but
Oh,
do
you're
they
good,
have
brother.
breaks on the broadcast?
But we like shot marbles and other nonsense, remember?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
which would seem the time to lose a commentator, right?
Yeah, right, yes.
Right. So I'll wait for this tournament clock to run down in 2 minutes and see if that.
Are we
does
taking
it.
a break at 2?
I don't know.
You can just go, brother.
I've
I
watched-
got you. You don't.
All
you
right,
don't gotta
all
worry
right,
about
man.
it.
All right.
And all right, it'll be 3 minutes of silence while Alex takes a leak. All right, hey, I think that's the first one I can remember seeing thus far. The old limp in and check out of the blind from Barry. So we have 2 garbage hands seeing a board. Oh, Taylor is going to slide in the pre-warm seat. And here we get all the way to the river. No one's put any money in. Boring pot. Yeah, I know, right? GoldenEye. I think we've talked about GoldenEye before being like the classic, like, don't besmirch the memory that you have of that game because it'll be minus EV to play that game in the contemporary setting.
It's
of
so
PS4.
tilting. Like your childhood is ruined. Like crushed.
Like, my dad left when I was 9, no problemo.
Yeah.
Mom nowhere to be found when I was 14, no
At least
problemo.
I still
But
have GoldenEye.
At least I have GoldenEye, man.
At least I still have GoldenEye. You go back and play it, and then you're like, well, I don't even have that.
No mom, no dad, and no GoldenEye. Feels bad, man.
Man.
It makes you wonder too, like, you know, when we played that then, it was awesome. The graphics, it was such a fun game. And then now we look back and we're like, this is ridiculous pixelated 8-bit nonsense.
Oh, absolutely.
What are we going to have in 20 years from now where today's video games that are getting to be
What is this?
photorealistic are going to look like crap in comparison?
What is this, 4K?
What is this nonsense? Don't ruin your 30s by going back and playing, I just can't imagine. Are we just going to have like holograms, just like real life virtual reality? Like people aren't going to leave their rooms.
Right.
They're just going to be like, well, doing other things with their avatar that I can't say on the air. Wow.
Trying to find their thing, is that what?
yeah. Reaching past their huge belly and searching for their thing. Exactly. It looks like Ian Sheriffs has clipped out this ridiculous run by SR.
This is so nuts. He had 10K.
Incredible spin up. It was 10K, so he had 1/4 of a big blind.
Yeah, he had 10K.
Unbelievable. The blinds were 20/40, and he had 10K.
So Postle's in the chat.
He's so salty. I don't blame him.
He's on fire, but so he had 10K, and then I guess he gets the big blind ante. So he made 10K into 80K, like the hand after.
Yeah. Yep.
I think he was all in on the small blind.
Yes.
And then he ended up picking up the pot,
With the
which is
A6.
like 80K.
Yeah.
All right, I'm being summoned.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but like 10K into 1 million is 4 million X or whatever it is. Just a ridiculous spin up. Pretty remarkable. All right, we're going to have some action here. SR has himself the top pair. T-Money has himself the open-ender. And this was a raise out of the small. This is blind versus blind action. Raise from SR. Just call, interestingly, by T-Money. So SR, as the pre-flop raiser and flopping top pair, is going to continuation bet for 200. And T-Money has two options here, either call or raise. He opts to just call. That is a brick on the turn. And SR does not want to see any more cards. He's just going to open rip it here, and T-Money has to call it off, which he's not going to do. He folds, and SR picks up another pot. And, man, Taylor was just confirming that SR, at his lowliest, his chip and a cherryest, actually only had 10K. When the blinds were at 20K and 40K, he had a fourth of a big blind, and now here he is in second in chips with 1.5 million. What
look
a
at that
spin up.
smile.
Have you ever had a get out like that in a tournament where you were that desperate and final table chip leader almost?
I am sure in a very small tournament, but it's really hard to think of one in a big tournament. So. And this isn't a small tournament. I'm talking like a $2 buy-in on the internet or a
Micro stakes
$20,
online,
right?
yeah.
But this is fun when you're playing for 7K up top to just run it up like that.
Unbelievable,
this is fun.
right?
Yeah.
No kidding. It looks like we actually are taking a little break ski
All
here. We'll
right.
probably shoot some marbles momentarily.
Let's get some espresso shots.
Yeah,
How do I
let's do
that?
2 more espresso shots.
Yes,
let me
sir.
pop out there and say something. I don't know if we have marbles loaded up yet.
Alright, I got it.
Hey, everybody.
Can we get 2 more espressos?
If you are enjoying my poker content, go to pokerheadrush.com. Sign up for the mailing list.
So yeah, so what percentage of your time? I want to hear how you're dividing up your time these days. Oh, here we go. Hey, !play in the
Woo,
Twitch
let's
chat, guys.
go.
We'll shoot some marbles while we're on a little break here, four-handed at the final table. The break, I think it's 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. So we're already about 9 minutes to go, and then we'll be right back to poker. !play. In the meantime, we'll shoot some marbles. Yeah, so between coaching, writing, playing, touring, what's your schedule look like?
It's, every day is different. There's times I'm just really into playing cards, so for a week I'll do that. There's other weeks I just want to do a lot of personal coaching. I'll try to do a few lessons every day, and there's just other weeks I really want to create things, so I'll do that. One of the things I really like about working for myself is just being able to do what I'm into at that time, to not have as regimented of a schedule as I would need if I were in a day job. So it's really hard to give a definitive answer, but lately I've been creating video packages to send to people where it's essentially recorded lessons of myself for 3, 5, 10 hours, and just me trying to give you a leg up in low to mid stakes games. That's been really fun. It's nice when you can record the videos and do multiple takes because you can graph hands and create your own hand histories and show them games from all over the world and go, okay, in India they saw this hand. What do you think you should do here? Okay, here in the United States, you're seeing this hand. What do you think you should do? And then put it in a test format and make it really fun. If you guys want to see some of these videos for free, go to pokerheadrush.com.
There you go.
pokerheadrush.com. Jaunty411 making a break for it
Yeah, Secretariat way out in front here.
towards the Ferris wheel. Or the hamster wheel.
Yeah, that's like the lottery lottery number spinner of death.
This is like Mousetrap. You remember that
Oh,
game?
of course.
Yeah.
Although I never really played it. We just did the mousetrap part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody ever played it.
Yeah, I don't know how that game works
Nobody
now
does.
that I think of it.
Nobody does.
I was reading the other day that the game of life originally started with an option that you killed yourself at the end.
Get out of here.
I'm not making that up.
Are you
Suicide,
serious?
bankruptcy, it was all part of that.
Milton
Yeah.
Bradley got some dark
Damn,
minds
I know,
up
right?
in there.
And
Wow.
I heard, I don't know if this is true, but Monopoly was actually designed to show kids the dangers of capitalism.
No.
I heard that. I don't know if it's true.
Ice Jones for the win. Nice job, Ice Jones. Been studying Alex's marble strategy over at pokerheadrush.com. Finds himself the win. Nice job. Nice job. I think we'll probably do a couple more. Chris Moneymaker in the marble race. Did I see that? Moneymaker, super overrated marble racer. He wins one race and then he thinks he's the, Actually, no, that's
That's how you know he's a good guy.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you can get away with that, man. There are certain people in poker you don't make those kind of jokes
Of course.
because you're going to
Too
hear about it
sensitive.
later, right?
Actually, I would even say like most. It seems like a lot of those type of personalities in poker, but not.
Right.
Chris is very self-deprecating and self-aware and
I
a
appreciate
good-natured
that.
dude for sure. And that's Chris Moneymaker's son. I believe that's Chris Moneymaker's son. He's been in our chat before.
Hey, Chris Moneymaker's son.
Thanks for hanging out, brother.
Hollywood.
Oh, that's Hollywood. That's right.
Hollywood?
That's, yeah, a regular on our shows here.
All right.
And yeah, you win here. You're gonna win yourself some trophies, which I will put into the Twitch chat, and we will shoot another race in which maybe you can win yourself a gold pork chop. Whoa! In the meantime, here's some trophies for you, Ice Jones. Boom.
Ice.
It's like a few minutes left on the clock, and then we'll get back to the final table. Try and find ourselves a winner. Ice Jones, nice job.
That is a fantastic battle rapper name. Who's that? Ice
Jones.
Jones.
So what? Yeah, I don't even know anything. What is the? Is it what I'm picturing from 8 Mile? The like underground rap battles?
8 Mile is the original form of battle rap, which was it was all freestyles and it was on beat. So what a lot of those guys started doing is they were hedging their bets. So if you actually watch 8 Mile, you can see Eminem writing before the events, right?
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be freestyle, but he's preparing before he gets there. Eventually, at some point in Nova Scotia, they took away the beat and they just admitted these guys are writing it before they get there, but let's really play this up. So for 3 weeks, they have time to write. So when the guys showed up, they just had crazy angles, crazy punchlines because they had so much time to prepare.
Right.
That became very popular. It was taken to the United States in a league called Grind Time, and that made it really popular. Oh, URL obviously was doing that for a long time, Ultimate Rap League in New York, and it just really grew from there to the point where there are battle rap leagues now in the Philippines, Indonesia, Pakistan. Because you think about it, soccer is so big in most of the world, or football for our European listeners, viewers, because all you need is a soccer ball and to goof
Yeah,
around, right?
yes.
Well, battle rap, you don't even need a ball.
You don't
It's
need
just-
that. You
it's
need
just-
vocal cords.
Yeah, it's you and
Yeah.
a buddy like dorking around
Right.
at a bus stop, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, what is the incentive? Are there like, I forget my ignorance. Are there like cash prizes or?
There are actually a poker player, professional poker player. The Saurus is his rap name. I don't know if he wants me saying his real name.
Oh yeah, Prahlad Friedman. Yeah, he's a great. He's a great rapper. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
But, I don't know how private he is, but the Saurus, he's a professional player. He used to do Scribble Jam back in the day, and there were big cash prizes, and he would win them. And now a lot of these guys get appearance fees, right? So if you're one of the bigger battle rappers, you can get 40,000 for a performance, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because they're charging admission at these venues?
Yeah, they charge admission at these venues. It's big business,
No
right?
kidding.
Yeah, it'll be $70 a ticket.
Holy
It
moly.
is great live entertainment too.
Oh, I would imagine.
Yeah, because you hear a guy just get ripped on something really personal with 50 people to scream about it, and the guy's this close to his face. It's, oh my God, it is entertainment.
Crazy.
Right?
I
Yeah.
got to find my way to one of these things.
No, it's fun, man.
Is
I'll take you to one.
I want to
Yes,
go.
Sir. No, they're
is,
fun.
Is there a scene? Are there scenes
Pretty
everywhere?
much everywhere, man. California has a great battle rap scene. It's really fun. One of
Interesting.
my favorite battle was versus a guy, Onesie Slim, really cool guy, but I roasted him in this battle. And we were in this guy's backyard, and it was the most fun because we were in Fresno, California, and people to watch the event, they were on the roofs of houses around us. So you look
That
around
sounds
and
exactly like Frez, yes.
yeah, it was crazy, and everybody's lit up, right? And,
Oh, of course. It's
yeah.
114 degrees.
Yes,
Everyone's
sir.
wasted. I know Fresno, man.
Yeah, it
oh,
was
yeah.
fun, man. And it was just, I took a picture from that event because I'd never seen, high-rise box seats, and this just happened to be on some guy's shed 2 houses
Wow.
down, right, to watch. But yeah, you say something that reverberates with the crowd, and just like you hear this swell of emotion from
Oh, man,
everywhere.
what a
And-
hit of dopamine you probably
Oh,
get from that.
Bro, it's a
I would
heroin
imagine.
high.
I would
it's
imagine.
A heroin. Nothing in poker compares.
No kidding.
Nothing.
And this is coming
I
from a
swear.
guy who has scooped some major titles. All right, who's going to scoop this title? We're back and battling four-handed.
And here we go.
Blind versus blind, the old complete check.
T-Money just completing from the small. I just love watching T-Money play, man. I never know what's going to happen.
Right, because how can he have an ace? Wouldn't every
You just-
ace raise?
I couldn't range him. I could not range him. Oh, okay. We got espresso
Yes,
shot.
we do. Oh, let me grab him.
Thank you so much.
Boom. All right. Oh, that's empty.
Carlos
Cheers, man.
Welch makes a great point. Cheers. They sell battle rap on pay-per-view now. He wanted me to tell you that.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
Man, all right. I mean, how could it not be fun? I'm sure the
Oh,
crowds are
it's a
electric.
blast,
I'm
man.
sure it's a blast. Yeah, I'm gonna make a note. Let's roll to one.
Yes, sir.
We're
I'll take you
hereby
one.
we're hereby planning it.
Carlos Welch and I will take you to one.
All right.
Carlos Welch.
Is that one of your buddies from back home?
Yeah, we live together in Arizona.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Was that your college years?
No, this is like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Oh, so
When
you're
I
only
came-
recently in New York.
Yeah, it's only been actually about 3 years ago in Arizona. I've been 2 years in New Jersey, New York. Yeah, I just wanted to experience New York. It's one of those you have to see it at one point, right?
Oh, yeah. And are you single?
No, I'm living with my girlfriend.
Did you meet her out there?
We've known each other since high school.
So you guys went to New York together?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
she was already out there, so yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was there on a layover, and yeah.
Well, and I asked because I imagine that as the move of a single 20-something or 30-something.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, I'm just gonna go to New York.
Yeah, no, I always had this. I wanted to make it in New York, and
Well, you know what they say. I mean, if you
yeah,
can
if
make
you
it
can
there.
make it there, and well, fortunately for me, I got divorced 3 years ago, and I had to make it again because I didn't have much left from that. And it was
Oh,
like, well, man, let's
man.
do it in New York. Let's make it.
Hey,
Man, in New York, you will get moving, man, because it is sink or swim in that city, and I love that. I love that rhythm every day.
competition, and it's sink or swim for Fearless Fish
Woo!
here, all in with the fives. Can he fade the big suited ace of SR? And SR is going to try to continue his incredible heater. If he can find himself some big cards here, and Bust Fearless Fish will be down to three-handed. And that is not it. He needs a 10 or an ace quickly now. He's got 2 more shots, and it just feels like he's going to
I know. How could he not hit?
How could he not?
This is just window dressing. 10 of spades on the river.
To the river we go.
Oh!
Almost close, but no cigar. The fives hold.
I'm confused. Why isn't SR winning? I don't get it.
I don't either. Man, that is a full double up for Fearless Fish, and he's right back in it with the fives holding. Nutlow, are they coming to Oakland KOTD Town Business
King
Card?
of the dot.
Ah,
Yes, sir.
So you know that one. Is that like is that specific to Oakland or is it tour or what?
No, King of the Dot started in Toronto. It was a battle rap league that was very different because it had Canadian performers, and Canadians would take risks that other performers would not take.
I mean, as a Snow fan, I know what Canadian rappers are like. You know?
Right. And Snow, wow. Now there's Snack the Ripper, Mad Child, right? But no, it turned into a really diverse battle league, and it's really cool because they get guys from New York. They used to do this event called World Domination where they would try to get battlers from all over the world. So it would be like Philippines versus Argentina, right? And it would just be crazy.
Would people be like, like people in the crowd with the Argentine flag kind of thing?
There would be like national pride
Really?
and stuff.
Oh, no kidding. How fun.
Well, it'd be crazy. You hear a guy from Norway rapping in English. It's like, bro, I barely speak this language myself,
and
right?
The kind of command of language you have to do something like freestyle rap is crazy.
Well, and it becomes the lingua franca English, right, for these guys. So they do have to do it.
Yeah.
And,
it's still amazing though. Like anytime I hear there are a couple of like talk show hosts that English is not their first language. Like I don't know if you ever
no idea.
Sebastian Gorka comes to mind, where you're hosting a national radio talk show and it's not your first language. You have to have such command of the culture and the nuances of the language. It's angry capless Mike. Postle's mad, man.
That was a tough one.
You got out of your system, dude.
A little alcohol and
The 5 to 4 ladder, it's only $900. That's a pittance for Postle.
yeah, that tilts me more than losing 10K class in a cash.
I believe it. Mike says it's more tilting. Yeah, because it's cosmically wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lose 10K class in a cash game.
That was
Lol. Frank called me.
that was
Yeah,
something.
It's very tilting. Yeah, and SR, this is the most ridiculous spin up ever. He's up to like $1 million in chips
It gets
from
better.
10K.
It gets better.
Oh my God, Postle's spoiling the crap out of everything. over
Raise
here.
and fold.
Go anywhere.
All right.
Oh man, I am not ignoring the chat, guys. We're here. We're
Not
just
low. I know they still do world domination, but they don't make it as much of an international event as they used to do. That's what I meant by that. But thank you for calling me out on that. Anyway, let's not talk battle rap the entire time. As much as I love it.
I mean, it's fun and interesting, and it's but part of like enjoying poker is having other things in your life that you also enjoy. It makes poker infinitely more enjoyable.
People used
People
used to always make fun of me on the tour, like, why are you going to all these goofy tourist things, man? There's money to be made right now. Bro, you burn yourself out real quick, and there is nothing worse than going, I was in Rio de Janeiro and I didn't see a damn thing.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
I was in a windowless room.
Right. You win an 8K pot that night, which you're not going to win every night. You're not going to remember it. Like, you might remember it, but you won't remember the smaller pots. And the money comes and goes, but you have to appreciate this life while you're here. Otherwise, when you go play poker, you have this tension that you can't deal with all the time. Whereas if you do goof off and watch Rookie of the Year, like you're talking about, I honestly think that helps your game. There's a financial incentive for you to take time off. And
I agree.
Not many people have that, so take advantage of it.
100%. Yep.
What do they say in the military? Sleep is a weapon. Rest is a weapon. And the quality of the rest is a weapon. So getting yourself as completely out of your mind as you can, the best thing you can do. Under the Gun raised with 6 high by T Money. I love it. I love watching this guy.
Unfortunately for him, Barry has woken up
That's a
with
real
the
hand.
honeys, and I'm predicting a flat call and then open jam every flop. I mean,
What if he just gets a call because they saw that pot? It's like he's just leveling.
Yeah,
The board comes with 6.
Exactly. Oh, tell me that's just a call.
If T Money adds his cards together, it doesn't equal one of Barry's.
Okay, this time he does 3-bet.
Oh, he did 3-bet. Okay.
And wow, SR looks down at a suited Queen 9. Looks good, but he's got to fold it, facing a bet and a raise. And his T Money, does he want to flat here and try to take a flop? It's 200 to win 600. But yeah, despite that, he doesn't want. Yeah, his hand is really
Nobody
marginal.
did anything wrong in that pot.
I know, it feels weird.
What? Unconventional doesn't have to be wrong. It just needs to be examined, and usually I have no idea what's going on. But I told myself I would try to make this as entertaining as possible. So I feel ribbing people isn't going to do that.
Indeed. Yeah, it will not. Rev Durden, Europeans are just smarter. America used to always be top 5 in intelligence.
When did you guys invent a car?
That's a pretty stupid thing to say, dude. You must be American saying something so dumb.
I studied in Europe. There was a lot, not like in university, but poker, and there was a lot of smart people there. There's a lot of smart people here, and there was a lot of dumb people on both sides of the pond, too.
100%.
Yeah.
It's all humanity, man. You know Cassidy from 2009 Hotel. He just battled tonight in New York and got paid $250,000 for 3 rounds.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
There you go.
That's so much.
Oh, he got his socks smoked by
Wow,
goods.
that's crazy. $250,000 for an evening's work.
Well, and it's just
Work. Wow.
Man, if you saw those crowds, it's work. An NY crowd. Well, and you think about it, they're standing in a venue for 8 hours, so you better bring it when you get up there, right?
Man, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine the environment just from like I said, like what I've seen on 8 Mile.
Oh yeah, no, it's well in that league. If you start screwing up, people will start making fun of you really quick, right? They're not complimentary.
Oh yeah, no, there's no mercy.
Whereas
yeah.
the cool thing about the California scene is people kind of want to see a good show. So if you start screwing up, it's a lot of come on. Right, you know, like they're slapping your back.
Totally.
And it's
Well,
like,
we're
let's go.
really stoned here, so everything is like, it's all good, brother.
Yeah, let's move. Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. You got this.
You got this.
What do you need? 3 more minutes?
Yeah. Here's a vape pen and some water. There's no dumb people in America, Ryan Smith. Yeah, absolutely. Another brilliant comment from American Ryan Smith.
None of y'all are right. There's no dumb people in America.
That's right. I mean, and everybody knows that the world's highest concentration of intelligence is Paraguay. I don't know if, I'm assuming everybody knows that. It's common knowledge.
This is true. Man, that was a good random country to call up. People don't bring that one up.
No,
right?
it's an obscure, not obscure,
go
but
Somalia, right?
yeah.
But
West Africa is always a good go-to.
Yeah, that's
but
a
you
good
got to
one.
go like Togo or Benin. Like you got to go way out there for West Africa.
You got to go out. Oh, we're coming out with a raise. I love the plaques you guys got here.
They're cool, huh?
Yeah.
From the button, easy raise with the ace bird. And is anyone going to have a contestable hand in the blinds? No and no. Raise it, take it. And we remain 4-handed at this Insanity Stack final table.
Everybody's just jabbing right now, waiting for that haymaker.
Exactly. Yep. And maybe we're at the point where it's going to be like coolers and coin flips.
It just might be, unless somebody goes, look, I think I can win this tournament right now. I don't think anyone's expecting me to come out and start 3-betting because we haven't seen that many light 3-bets at this point, right? So it is possible someone could just go, look, I'm going to start applying pressure, 4th or 1st. The 7K, it's not going to change my life. The 4th place, it's not going to change my life. Learning how to dominate a final table will change my life. I want that experience. So we'll see if someone's going to rise to the occasion right now or if we're just going to jab. And there's nothing wrong with that, too, because you can... If a couple of these guys decide 1st is going to be mine and you hang back, you'll get 2nd a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And then you have a free roll to 1st.
They both hit the 4, Barry and SR. This is a battle of the blinds.
And knowing these guys, this pot's not going to get real big.
Yeah, SR does bet when Barry checks to him. I think is that what happened? Check.
Chips
call?
went in the middle.
Yes,
it was a bet.
Yeah, check call.
So he just bought himself a river here, most likely.
Interesting turn card. Barry picks up a flush draw to go with his 4s.
Check. Oh no, it doesn't go check.
SR's got a
wheel
wheel
now
draw.
It did. Okay.
Yeah,
now
to
we
go
got a
check.
10. And tabled.
And they're both happy enough to show down a 4, but Barry's 8 is going to play, and he's going to scoop himself that pot. And there you go, to your point, more jabs. No one is going for that big left hook.
And that's not really a board you want to be double, triple barreling on, because on those boards, a lot of people are not folding. So totally fine to be jabbing in that position.
Rev Durden is following up. No, I'm very pro-American. I'm just talking the studies I've seen we've been following in recent times. Yeah, but, studies, man. who did the study? And I don't know. Like Alex said, there's smart and dumb everywhere you go.
Look, man, America's high variance, right? So there are some smart people here, and there are some people who are very proud they're not smart, and you just got to deal with that. Whereas
Yep.
a lot of people in Europe do speak 3 languages. I'll give them that. And I can't speak English half the time. So that is
we're struggling
impressive.
with the one.
Yeah.
I know. I'm super proud of myself that I've mastered English,
Yeah.
and that's it. Full stop.
That's
I can count to 10 in Espanol.
I lived in Costa Rica for 7 years. And if you hear me speaking Spanish, everybody thinks I speak much more than I do. Spanish has 23 tenses. Okay? I'm not making that up. People are like,
right?
yeah, and the people are like,
Wow.
conjugate a verb. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, bro, I am lucky if I can go to the laundromat and get the right clothes. Are you serious? And then you hear a guy from Germany speaking English better than you.
Yeah.
Or you hear in the Netherlands, oh, after year 1 in university, you have to do everything in English. It's like, could you imagine
No,
that in the
I
United
cannot.
States?
Nope, sure
right?
can't. Yeah.
Ooh, a big gunner here. The church? Is that what we're calling it?
The church.
The church.
The old Kmart church. Ace King.
I like the church. I like how that's called.
Yeah. Did you see the emote? I'm gonna put the Kmart
go for it.
Ace King emote in the Twitch chat. Boom. And Barry is gonna raise and pray.
And like with Team Money here, I don't know what's going to happen.
What up? I love the WNBA. Good to see ya. And Fearless Fish might want to come along here out of the big blind.
Who was that? That was a big online player back in the day. I love the WNBA.
Really?
I always loved that name.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
recognize that name. I don't know if it's the same person or not.
Like OMG Clay Aiken. It's just one of
Oh,
those
now
classics.
that name I
That's
know.
a classic. And we got a call out of the big blind with
Yep.
9-5 of clubs.
The suited
seeing-
9.
Now this is a board. Whoever's going to take the initiative is most likely going to take it.
Yeah, that's a really hard board for Barry to have connected with as the pre-flop
Right.
raiser, but
But he knows Fearless Fish has, if he called out of the big blind with 30-40% of his hands, he's got a whole lot of nothing most of the time. He's got nothing 70% of the time. And we haven't seen Fearless Fish push back post-flop, I don't think. And no, he just lets it go.
yeah.
Because it turns into a game of chicken at that point if he raises, right? But Barry might be the guy who will blink, right? He might be the one to fold an ace high on that board. So it is something to consider, but it doesn't come up.
Yep, not this time, and we're pretty close in chips. Barry, has a pretty good chip lead here, but this is still anybody's tournament to win.
Yes, sir.
We are at 30 and 60K, so plenty of blinds to work with. Now, as a sort of poker strategy wisdom dispenser, I imagine you have like proteges that have been close to you in your life. What's your your biggest bink from one of your proteges where they did something great?
Well, the problem with that is if people say Alex Fitzgerald is my coach, then there turns out to be a catalog of 50 to 100 videos you can watch to now get that person's strategy, right? So some of the higher stakes guys don't want to discuss nearly as much.
So without naming names.
I have coached, if you guys are familiar with the Pocket Fives rankings, 2 number 1 players and 1 top 5 player. That's as good as I can say, right? Naza114, if you guys know him, he Jalviera, I taught him when he just began in poker, but I mean that guy's on another galaxy than I am now. A very big Portuguese player, but I think he's and I was just teaching Flopzilla stuff, right? Like let me show you some efficient ways to count combos. And he's like, you mean like this? And it's like, that is a brilliant play. Damn it.
Who's coaching who?
Yeah, like I don't know if you should pay me, bro. I'm gonna use that. Right? But
Yeah.
Ike Haxton was I love the WNBA. Yeah, that was I love the WNBA.
Ike. So what makes you like, I guess what gave you credibility early on? You're like, well, I'm going to become a coach, and why would anybody want you to coach them?
Well, I think what happens is if people buy a lesson and they don't resonate with it, they're not going to keep hiring you, right? Because if you're going to say, I don't have a degree, give me $200 an hour, you better come with something, right? And back there was a coaching, Pocket Fives used to have a coaching site, and you could leave reviews there. So at the beginning, I just cut my teeth on teaching low stakes guys, and then they left reviews, and I kept ratcheting up. And most of what I find I'm better at is teaching people how to chunk things, right? How to not overcomplicate things, and then hopefully allow you to use your own creativity to do something with your own game. I'm very upfront that most of who I teach is low and mixed stakes players, because then you can give people a lot of wins. We have a nut flush draw and a top pair top kicker. I'll stop talking about myself.
Oh, it's all right. I prompted you. But yes, big. We got some drama unfolding. That's
it just
a raise.
got big.
It did indeed. Barry,
Look at all those outs.
Barry
Look at all those outs.
was on the gas here pre raise. Just a call by
Good
T
call.
Money.
Wow.
Here we go, and we are all in. But this is that's so interesting the way it went down.
haymakers.
T Money did not raise pre.
No, I mean, T Money wants to get on the flop and make some moves. And that's not the worst thing in the world. And I mean, to be fair to him, you would expect a guy like Barry has played it kind of close to the vest, so you wouldn't be surprised if he folded just a bare pair here. But Barry made the call.
Yes, he did, and he's going to try to fade the river, and he does. T Money's out. That is an elimination. Barry turns his ace garbage into the knockout, and T Money earns himself $3,500 and change for his third place finish, plus all of the bounties he earned himself, $200 each. So not a bad day's work for T Money, but we are now down to three-handed for the title over 7K up top in this tournament. And SR ladders again. Unbelievable.
Sorry, guys. I hope that wasn't too loud when I clapped.
No,
but
it's however loud it was. It's not loud enough to paint the picture of how crazy this is.
SR, don't be smiling right now. You would be forgiven, but you just laddered up again.
Yeah, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, he was supposed to bust fifth for $1,752, but instead Mike did, and he has now locked himself up $3,500 and change. And, man, that's huge. That's $2,000. That's just a gift. Just a gift.
$2,000 is not chump
No,
change,
it
man.
isn't. And,
That's rent
wow.
in New York.
For a
month.
closet.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
In Queens, not
Yeah.
New York. What am
Okay,
I
yeah.
saying? Yeah.
It's funny. One of my buddies years ago, when he moved to New York from the Bay Area, which, you know, if there's any place on earth that is going to prepare you for the expense of New York, it's the Bay
would be
Area.
the Bay, right? Right.
And so he told his new, they had just gotten married. His new wife was, he had to do some traveling for work, and his wife was going to go and find them a place in New York. It was like a 3-week, and so they had some agreed upon checklist stuff. Like, let's, you know, I know we're not going to get
That
much
is
square
a
footage.
decision you should make together.
Well,
anyway, yeah.
That's not how it went down for these two in this exact scenario.
Oh my
G
God.
Reg FT, thanks for the follow, dude. We appreciate it. Welcome to the Stones fam, man. You are tuned into the last of the Insanity Stack final table. We're three-handed, playing for over 7K up top. Yeah, so she went out ahead of time, and you know, she was called me a week later and like, hey, good news, you know, I found a place. And he was like, oh, great. And so he gets back from his travels, and they walk in the door, and she's like, here it is. And he flips on the light, and it's like a 300 square foot single room. The refrigerator is like a dorm fridge. Like it's got the freezer fridge combo, but it's like, you know, the size of a
All
dorm.
in a call.
That's New York.
I do not doubt it.
She was like, we had a budget. I can't find anything.
I looked long and hard for my
I'm
apartment
sure.
in NY.
Well, Fearless Fish is going to be looking for a 9 long and hard. He
Good
needs
luck,
to
sir.
find one. GL. That's not going to do it. And
One
not-
heart.
Yeah, that's it. We need more hearts in a hurry. Some straight possibilities too for Fearless Fish. Those percentages are not correct. He's not 32% to win. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
And
Yeah,
then
that's pre-flop.
and that's it. SR has got it locked up on the turn. Kings and sevens and whatever comes on the river are going to be good. Fearless Fish.
Remember
is
when I
dead.
said people were gonna jab for a little while?
Yep.
I was not right.
Well, you were right for a moment.
Yeah,
They-
exactly.
There were a
two
couple
hands.
jabs. They bobbed,
Yeah.
they weaved,
Yeah.
and then now we're just biting earlobes.
SR, how much does he have now?
Unreal. SR is heads up. This is
Oh
crazy.
my lord.
This is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe SR is heads up for the title.
I think somebody in the chat made a really good point. Did SR knock out the guy who kept him alive?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I saw that comment too, and it wasn't quite right because
Okay.
it was T Money that kept him alive.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay.
Wow, that is really unbelievable. SR had a fourth of a big blind and has run it all the way back up to 2 million, and he's heads up for the title.
Oh my God.
Over 7K. And it's SR versus Barry. Barry has himself a 3-2 chip lead here. So it's his match to lose. But at 30 and 60K, we have a lot of room to maneuver, and this is a deep stack heads up.
Yes, sir.
Now,
This
how
is gonna
many
be
deep
fun.
stack heads up are you familiar with this format?
I love deep stack heads up. The funniest thing about tournament poker is that if you think about it, the biggest payout jump is going to be second to first. You should really have your heads up game together before you go play a tournament. And it's very amazing to see tournament regulars who will get heads up in a tournament and they'll say, this is the first time I've played heads up all year. You just got to wonder how many people did you think we're going to deal with? And sorry, there's other stuff going on.
No, it's okay.
right now.
Continue your thoughts. All right.
If you're going to play tournaments, you do have to work on your heads up game. So I think it's a really good idea if you want to play tournament poker to just once a week play some 25 NL, 50 NL, just enough to feel the sting, but not so much you're going to worry about it, and try some new things. Try some post-flop plays. Try to get into the rhythm, you know? And I'm a thoroughly mediocre heads up player, but there are many times I get heads up in a tournament with a guy I know can play six-handed, four-handed, but heads up, not as much well, right? Just has a very unchanging game. So, yes, I do think you have to play a lot of heads-up poker to play tournament poker.
Yeah, well, in this case, guys, we don't have to know anything about heads up because these two agreed to a chop. They were not interested in jabbing on the deep stacks. They split up $5,986 each, an even chop. Interesting that Barry would agree to an even chop with a 3-2 chip lead, but you know what? I guess the man was just done playing poker for the day.
You never know how tired he was,
Right.
right? Or maybe he just felt this guy knows something. But yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm a little surprised too, but man, I mean, what an incredible spin up there by SR. He turns certain death into $6,000.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So wow, what a great time we had tonight calling this final table, the Insanity Stack knockout tournament here in the middle of the Stone Spring Classic. Tons more streams coming your way. 11 straight days of streams. Alex is going to be back in the booth with you guys. Chris Moneymaker will be here. Vanessa Cade will be here. Me, Chris, and Poker Mama as well, and Jeff Boski and some other special guests. So we have a lot more action coming your way. Come play some cards here at Stones if you're around, and tune in here on Twitch and YouTube if you're not. Now, what did we learn tonight on the stream? Well, one, rap battling is an incredible way to make a living. Encourage your kid to learn how to rap because you can get like $250,000
Yes, you
to go
can.
spit some verbs, or I don't know how what the lingo is.
You got to layer a lot of syllables together.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yes.
You gotta be a wordsmith, but it's a very viable. So we learned that. Number two, we learned do not revisit stuff from your childhood that you remember as good. Take GoldenEye out of the system. Do not play it. Take Rookie of the Year out of that DVD player or VCR. Don't bother with it. Let the memory remain intact. And most importantly, we learned that a chip and a chair, which is Joe Stapleton's phrase, is so freaking true. Holy moly.
Sure.
Have you ever seen a better illustration of that phrase in action?
I have not seen a better illustration than that. He was sitting on, what was it, $1,000? And he just spun that up into 6. Heads up
Unbelievable.
chop. Heads up chop.
Unreal.
That's amazing.
Wow. Man, my mind is just blown. All right, so Alex and I are going to go chug espresso off the air. Thank you, all you guys in the Twitch and YouTube chats for hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys a ton. It was a blast. We appreciate all of the commentary and participation as always. So thanks for being part of the Stones fam, guys. All right, that's it. We're back tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears to the ground. And until next time, it is Scott for Alex Fitzgerald. And Taylor, thank you. Saying so long.